Welcome to another Friday episode of Hold the Mic, where facts matter more than feelings. Do us a favor, hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Hold the Mic. We are your hosts. I'm Ryan Shead. That's my brother Ian Sherman. How you doing, man?
Boom, boom, boom! Man, it is the end of democracy as we know it. How you doing, brother?
Yep, making popcorn, getting ready.
Hey, I'm just trying to smile like Joe and Kamala, because I guess we're going out with a bang.
I guess.
They really are just flashing smiles.
I mean,
here we are.
Yeah, it's beautiful, I guess. Yeah. It's like that movie, Don't Look Up. Just sit there. Just sit there and wait for it.
But you know that would be such an American story. Like, because you know that exists. That is literally
that is true.
The situation.
That is very true.
So here we are.
So sorry to keep you all waiting tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out. We have a guest coming on in a little bit, but we actually have quite a long show. So
a lot. Stay as long as you can, guys.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about. So, and I just wanted to give a quick shout out to all the haters on there, because I know you're all watching. You've been following me for days. And I just want to say thank you for the engagement. Thank you for putting food on my table, and hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I will enjoy telling you I told you so for the next foreseeable future. Angry Bunny. On, Angry Bunny.
Shout out to Angry Bunny.
We love you.
Yeah, it's Ryan, we got some interesting things going on. We really do have some interesting things happening. You got me into TikTok, is all I got to say. And now they are taking it away from us.
They're taking it away.
I'm ready to go into the streets.
You know, it's definitely interesting to see this happening, especially the way it's all going down. Because if you think TikTok's a problem, but you don't think Twitter and Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg owning Snapchat, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, and whichever other ones I'm forgetting, like if you don't have a problem with that, but you think TikTok all of a sudden is like this huge security risk, you're insane. And let me give you a couple of examples and a couple of issues real quick. Number one, because I've been on Twitter for so long, I had to send them my ID. And when I did that, I was informed that they sent it not to a company here in America. No. They sent it to a company in Israel. Now, this is under Musk. This was him doing it. So we're talking about, China's going to get all this information. What about Elon selling all of our information? You're not concerned about that? Okay, no. Let's talk about this one. Here's the reason why the Supreme Court and Congress really shouldn't be making decisions about what happens with TikTok.
Right.
Because if you go and you look, I just did a video about it today, actually. I made about $10,000 on TikTok this year. Just on TikTok. So who's going to replace that $10,000? Who's going to replace that $10,000 that I was putting back into the economy? Right? So now who's going to help all these people that just now lost, whether it's a couple extra $100 a month that they put in their pocket, or it's how they support their families? You've now taken income out of everyday Americans' lives with no plan on how to replace it. And on top of it, you just said today that the Republicans have zero interest in increasing minimum wage.
Right.
And again, is this really what small government looks like? Is this what the Republicans' idea of small government is? Because like they're taking money out of our pockets. So if you haven't realized what the game plan is and what their goal is, it's to make us dependent on them so that they can literally facilitate slave labor.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Ryan, you're going to do great on OnlyFans. I already know that you're going to have a great following.
If they do,
it's going to be an easy transition
for
over.
Feet pictures.
I was going to say possibly those pretty toes, man. Them hobbit feet are going to be put to work.
Yep.
No, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if you have everybody from even Nancy Mace joining OnlyFans because she needs a side.
Oh my God.
You know, it's just going to be.
Talk about women that have smoked their kneecaps off. Jesus.
She
looks like Whitney when she came out from that Michael Jackson concert. We all went, oh
man,
what happened?
You mean more so like Liza Minnelli? You know what I mean? So there it is. There's a part of this, Ryan, that I honestly am thinking to myself, like I'm gonna start seeing all of my kids' teachers, men and female, just having OnlyFans pages. And it's just like, okay, I guess this is the norm for us to pay, because guess what? Eggs ain't going down. Milk ain't going down. Inflation ain't going down. They literally are setting up shop for it to be poor whites and the HB1s. Let's go. This is the Republican Party.
And you know what else won't be going down? The federal deficit. Because Elon Musk has already come out and said that Doge probably won't be able to find $2 trillion in federal budget cuts.
They are trying to get ahead of this so fast because they understand.
Which, by the way, I could come up with $2 billion or $2 trillion. Is it? Do you say trillion?
Trillion with a T.
Okay, maybe not 2 trillion, but I could come up with a solid 500 billion in cuts.
You can come up with 2 trillion. Yes, you can. Guess what?
I just don't want to oversell it. I just don't want to oversell it.
Raise the corporate tax back up to 35 or more. Well, what are you talking about?
That's how we would get back in the black. That's how we would actually get rid of our debt. They're not interested in that. No, they love the debt because they make money off of the debt. But again, we're talking about things that most folks don't seem to understand.
Why would we have common sense about any of this? Let's just be serious right now. But it's quite telling to see that the goalpost is already starting to shift. Trump is already talking about the wars that he was trying to, he was going to finish on day one. And then you look at this, that he's going to possibly lower the prices. And now he's trying to get ahead of that in the Time magazine. And then, of course, now with all the other information.
So can we just call it what it is? Y'all are suckers. You MAGA Trump clowns.
Losers.
You're suckers.
What did he call? No. What did he call the you vets? What do you call you guys? Suckers and losers. Right? Yeah. That's who the mega base is.
And you got all these vets sitting there, just like, oh, please give me more. It's like, you guys are a disgrace.
I didn't realize they were handing out knee pads.
Yeah, well, some of them don't even need the knee pads.
They're very calloused. They're ready to go.
When you've been doing it so long.
We're going to be taking our final shots on everybody on the final day of Biden.
Yeah.
Let's be serious. And actually, Ryan, I want to give it to Biden.
Yeah.
He is handing this economy all-time highs, okay? Highest GDP, best in the world after a global pandemic. We are still number one.
Stable unemployment.
Handing it to Trump. You can say whatever you want about the last month of Trump being picked by America. I'm telling you right now, he is literally being given a country that is in the best footing possible on the other side of this thing.
Yeah.
Highest rate of people getting job employment. What was it? 250 plus thousand that we just had for December numbers.
Hey, real quick. Hey, Christian Ortiz is in here with us. What's up, my brother? Hey, this is a sponsor of our podcast. So big shout out to our boy Christian Ortiz here doing big things. I was supposed to get my book today, but I don't think I got it yet. But I'll definitely have it. So I can't wait. I told them I had to have a signed copy, so I made him sign it and send it to me.
That's what's up, man.
But yeah, so Christian Ortiz doing big things with Justice AI, and we have some big things, the three of us, in the works that I can't wait to share with you guys. But I want us to get a little further down the road before we announce that.
CO, when you're in New York, man, I want you to sign my baby. I'm just saying right now. That's what it is, man. I want the real, authentic Sharpie on that forehead. Let's go.
But you go look for Christian Ortiz. He's got a new book out, and it's about how we can, decolonize how we think, and it's definitely a book worth reading. So, but a shout out for sponsoring the podcast. We love you, brother.
That's what's up, man.
And before we move on, too, just want to give a quick shout out to Jacob. Old friend of ours from high school. We miss you too, buddy.
Hey, Jacob, man, let's go Lions. I already know you got front row seats. Let's go, man.
I'm telling you.
He's in the best place, man. He's in the best place.
Yeah. I'm so nervous for Saturday, though.
What?
I'm nervous.
Stop putting that energy out there. You did that to me with the Vikings, and I was just like, calm your nerve. Calm your nerve.
Okay, well, calm my nerves tomorrow, too.
All right. Call me at 7:59.
Call me at 7. Oh my God!
Tomorrow we will for sure be talking.
I hope MAGA gets exactly what they deserve. You know what the kicker with that is, John? Like I feel that way. Like I'm not hating on you at all. I definitely feel that way. But what sucks is we're all gonna suffer. Like we're all gonna suffer when inflation starts skyrocketing again. We're all gonna suffer if he can't get the price of goods down like he said he would. Like and that's the kicker too. Like MAGA and Republicans seem to think that they're the only ones suffering from high prices. Like we're all suffering.
And now that I think about it, MAGA's not going to suffer from this because they're so delusional. They're literally going to eat it up. They love a shit sandwich. They are going to literally ask for more because they continuously push the goalposts every time that he changes his mind. The fact that they're saying this now, oh, well, we're not going to be able to do this or get the price down. The people are like, see, it's okay. He's working for us. He's going to get it there eventually. And it's like, but he said day one.
Yeah. But
no, they love it. They love a good shit sandwich. But
they really do. You know, and speaking of shit sandwiches, it really interested me that Israel decided not. Oh no, sorry. What am I talking about?
I don't know, but this is a great transition.
This is a horrible fucking transition. Oh, so I was going. No, I was going totally backwards. So it's not a shit sandwich. It's the complete opposite of a shit sandwich. It was supposed to be a positive in the beginning of the show, but somebody messed up my flow. Yeah, this choke over there, bitch. Choke.
Sandwich. Go for it, brother man. Go for it. What is up?
No, but we were going to talk about how Netanyahu and Israel had put off letting the cabinet approve the ceasefire in Gaza.
Yeah, they delayed it.
And so it was looking like they were going to delay it until Trump came in so he could take credit. So I'm actually glad that right before we came on, Ian saw that the Israeli cabinet actually approved the Gaza ceasefire today. So that's actually some really good news, and hopefully it sticks. Hopefully it saves some lives, and we'll see what happens.
It's definitely a very gray area that we talk about, right? And it's like, I've said to some people, I didn't know genocide came with terms and conditions. I didn't know that existed where, you could just be now negotiating who you're giving back in a genocide. I just didn't know that. But you learn something every day, right, guys? And so it's interesting to me that Netanyahu actually went above and beyond and gave a lot of credit to Biden, where a lot of the underlings and even the media, I want you guys to pay attention to the media. Everybody's talking about how tough Trump was talking and how that shifted the tone of everything. Yeah. And all I thought to myself was, it's a whole bunch of weak terrorists afraid of a weak man who's loud on his soapbox.
Yeah.
I go, that's all this was. That's all this was. And the reality is, I think the people who put in the work every single day consistently showed up, even when shit looked terrible. It was a shit sandwich of a negotiation. But guess what? Biden didn't give up on those people.
Yep.
He still showed up. He still defended when needed. And he still, at the same time, asked for peace the entire time. I give a lot of credit to Biden for this. He really did stick the landing.
He really, like, I'm glad you said that, because he really didn't waver on his position on it.
No.
I'm glad you said that.
But Trump's going to go ahead and tote that he changed the game. So it is what it is.
Oh, he's going to find a way to take credit.
Always. Always.
Oh, it was 2 days before my inauguration. Yeah. It was mine. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Whatever he'll say.
But even the media, trash ass media.
See, perfect timing. So I promised you guys, Saadia, here she is. I stalled as long as I could.
We could tell.
It was horrible, right? Tell. I know it was horrible. But Saadia, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Saadia, Ryan was bombing horribly.
It was horrible.
Trying to hold on the show. And it's all good.
To be fair, I've got like things crossed off on the outline from like on 3 different pages right now. So we're kind of jumping around a little bit.
I have the easy job, Saadia. I just sit here and I just get to hold a puppy. All right. I just have to show up, make jokes, and then just be like, hey guys, how you doing?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I thought I had mentioned I was gonna be a little late, but
no, you did. Oh no.
You're good.
I'm glad that you have a job.
We all do. Don't even worry about it. Welcome. Happy Friday. Welcome to the show. Hold the mic.
Yes.
Thank you.
Saadia has a beautiful, it's a pit bull, right?
Yes.
Yeah. She has a beautiful pit bull, man. Like she always puts like little clips on her reels. So it's like, I always kind of go there looking for dog clips anytime that I'm about to lose my ever loving mind. I'm like, I need dog clips.
Saadia, I grew up with a pit bull and I wanted a pit bull and I ended up with this toy here and batteries were not included. And I was just like, what is this? What is this tiny ass thing? It looks like a New York rat that got dressed up. Okay. That's where I'm at in my life. But I do love a pit bull, so I'm really
personally,
happy to hear.
I just love thinking about you walking around New York with that little ass dog. Do you have a pink leash for it too?
This is my handbag. Actually, I never let it touch the ground. Okay, so why don't you mind your business and don't get stepped on? Right, Ruffles?
Oh my God.
Eno does not like that shit.
I love all dogs.
Oh, I'm telling you, Eno is the man. Eno's got this look on his face like, y'all know what's coming for the next 4 years,
Eno
right?
actually made a pit bull back up, and I go, Eno, you talk real tough, man. I'm going to tell you right now, you remind me of Tupac with the Red Wing jersey on.
Oh my God.
Spitting at the media. You need to calm down. You need to calm down. And he did.
Oh, Lord.
Eno gives zero fucks. He's definitely a Brooklyn dog.
He is a Brooklyn dog.
So
you came in at the perfect time, Saadia, because we were going to start talking about the inauguration and how all the states on top of the Capitol are going to be raising the flags for the day. And what are your thoughts on that?
Will they see them from the inside? Sorry, I had to ask the question.
Points are made there. Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, it's like we've seen this before, like this narcissism where like you just have to stroke the ego to get things done. And then you've got the bootlickers like my governor Abbott, who was like, before they even said it, he's like, you know what we're going to do here? And it's like, okay. Actually, funny enough, one county here, Brazoria County, which is pretty MAGA here, received special permission from Abbott to fly at half mast on Monday, because I think one of their police officers was shot in the line of duty. So they'll half mast it for that. But for Trump Almighty, you know.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Duly noted. Well, I'm going to buy a flag, and you guys are hearing it here first, and hold the mic. The day Trump dies, I'm going to buy a flag just to fly it at half mast. So we're good to go. That's my promise to you, our constituents here at Hold the Mic.
Yeah, I said way worse.
Well, this isn't a Ryan.
I think I said something along the lines of. I think I said something along the lines of I was going to take the flag I had been flying for the last 4 years down, put it on the ground, urinate on it, let it bake in the desert sun for the day, and then burn it the next day and hang another flag that hadn't been tainted by a felon, rapist, and accused pedophile. I think that's what I said.
Damn.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't have a flag, so I guess after that, I'm
We'll send you one. We'll send you one.
Well, see, now see, that's our promise. We're gonna get one the day he dies, and we're gonna have it at half mast, and then we can hand it to. I don't want
Ryan to send it though. He's desecrating it too.
Ryan.
Yeah, that's fair.
No,
that's fair.
No, do not open that package.
I'll let Ian take care of that.
No, we'll send our flags to Ryan to get rid of. Is what we'll do.
There you go.
There.
And by the way, the people that got upset about that comment, burning it is the correct way to get rid of it once I'm done desecrating it. But like Ian said, the other thing that we found kind of interesting is the inauguration will officially be inside.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys think about that?
I think it's something about crowd size.
Mm-hmm.
You think so too?
Mm-hmm. I've been saying it since the first day. When he won, I'm like, he's not even gonna have a public inauguration. I said it like.
Did you really?
After. Yeah, because we all know how he works. Last time it was so embarrassing; they had to crop the photo down, and you can't crop the photo down any further. So he was like, "Let's just have it inside." Thank God for snow. I'll let you guys hang out in the desert for a whole day and dehydrate and all that. Couldn't give two flying ducks about that. I don't know if I can cuss here or not, but
you can cuss.
Little snow. Don't worry about
TikTok's being banned. Don't worry about it. We say whatever we want now.
That's
so
right.
Pissed about everything today. So
I know.
Welcome to your therapy session with us here at Hold the Mic. That's a reality.
So,
what I was gonna say to you real quick, Saadia, about that with crowd size and everything. I did send Ryan some information about just temperatures in the last 7 presidents.
Mm-hmm.
This one, of course, is going to be cold. Obama's first, I believe, was cold as well, around 30s. I was there for that one, and I said, you know what, you get dressed up for it. But I do have to say here live on the mic, I got Ryan and I 4 tickets to go to the inauguration.
Oh.
You know, it was a shame that we weren't gonna be able to make it, but I mean, you know, I made sure that we at least had tickets to try to help out with the crowd size.
So he literally texts me, Saadia, and he goes, "Hey, just so you know, I got us 4 tickets to the inauguration." I'm like,
I go, who do you want to not bring?
I'm like, no. He didn't say that at first. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I'm not flying out there for that. He's like, yeah, I know. He's like, we're not going to show up, of course. I was like, oh, okay.
My congressman, I could tell, was like, oh, fuck. You're mega, but you voted for me? I could just see it in the email.
Like, just give me the tickets.
I go, I love everything you do, and I'm so thankful for this next inauguration. Wink, wink.
Oh no!
You
can give it to my governors. They're all showing up. My governors can't. Abbott and Paxton, they can't show up for shit, but they sure as hell have the first flight out to get to this inauguration on Monday.
Got to get that photo up. Yeah. So here's some interesting things to go through: President inauguration dates, temperatures, and details. So Donald Trump in January of 2025, it's forecasted to be a high of 22, a low of 7, and due to these extreme cold conditions, ceremonies moved inside, as we said. Joe Biden in 2021, the temperature was 42, mostly cloudy, with wind gusts around 28 miles per hour at the time that he was at the podium. Donald Trump in 2017, at noon, the temperature was 48 degrees, with a little bit of sprinkles when he was at the podium. Barack Obama in 2013 was a temperature of 44. The day was mostly cloudy. Obama in 2009, temperature was 28, with wind chill between 15 degrees and 20 degrees. The day was mostly sunny, but had wind gusts up to 15 miles per hour when he hit the podium. George W. Bush in January of 2005 had a noon temperature of 35 degrees. It was mostly cloudy, and he had northeast or northwest winds around 10 to 15 miles per hour when he hit the podium. And then in 2001, it was 47 degrees, raining. So it's like, but really, I think the best one today was probably Tim Walz. I think he might have won the day.
Yes.
He said there's no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothing.
I love this man. I love this man.
We really missed out, didn't we?
But you know what? I will say this is the bitch in Trump, where, you know, from New York, they get cold over anything. And I sit here and I go, you know, we could be in negative 11 degrees in Michigan. And we're like, all right, you guys want to go ice skating? Because you have this reality that kicks in. Either you're going to stay inside all day for 6 months, or you're going to find shit to do. And realistically, that cabin fever kicks in real fast. And you're like, we're going out. Put on some clothes, get out there. So all this, but you know what? Let's be realistic. Trump's old ass, you know he's not healthy. You know he can't be. He can't be in those conditions. And he can't be seen with that small crowd size. So, you know, he has to bring it inside, you know? Baby blankets.
I don't know. I need cholesterol to do one thing, and it has taken so damn long. I've known 4 people that have died since he's been around doing his cheeseburger activities, like publicly in front of all of us as a government official. 4 people have died from that, but this guy is somehow still just
like, how did he make it through COVID?
You know, I'm going to tell you guys something real quick, and you guys need to remember this, okay?
It's like the devil doesn't die.
He has Walter Reed. Y'all have Dwayne Reed, okay? There's a difference, all right? Remember this. They are keeping him alive. They are pumping him up. Y'all remember that the ambulance went to Mar-a-Lago and they kept that hush-hush? That happened just within the month?
Yes.
Yeah. You know? So they're something might be up. Who knows? That picture, though, that's a lot of light on the bottom. They didn't even show his vagina neck. Like, they really...
they
lit him up. They lit him up.
They did it on purpose. They reduced it. Like I took a zoom into it on my Photoshop, and they like literally like they have it like tucked back like into the collar.
Do they really?
It is the tie. Yeah. It really is in there.
Yeah, no, it's there. You can start seeing the top of the crack, and he was probably like, I don't want my neckgina out like there. This. Yeah, exactly.
I'm kind of surprised he hasn't had it hacked off at this point.
But I'm sorry that you had to zoom in on that girl. That's like looking at the abyss. That shit looks back at you.
Somebody else took care of the hard work for us. It wasn't that bad this time.
Angry Bunny said natural progression needs to progress faster.
I remember Angry Bunny. It's been so long.
Oh yeah, she's always on here. Patrick said Trump, ivermectin and bleach. Yeah, wish he would try that treatment on himself. So speaking of the inauguration, let's talk about some of the oligarchs that will be the tech oligarchs that will be attending. We have
sidebar real quick.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
After Biden's speech of talking about oligarchs, the Google search went off the charts because it's like Americans didn't even know what this word was. Just like tariff, they didn't know what this word was. Yep. So we're apparently on, hooked on phonics in this country of learning about shit. And I want everybody to realize this. When we talk about Americans at a 6th grade reading level, here we are. Okay. Here we are. Oligarchs. It is ruled by few. That is the definition. Yeah. It's a Greek word, ruled by few. Here we go.
So here are the few that own us. I'm seeing anybody's name I might butcher. Sundar.
Mind you, these are all the people who will be in the rotunda, not the undercover cops or the out of uniform cops on January 6th. Not them. Not those J6ers. Nope. This will be the people who are given the green ticket, where we are now looking at an administration that is the haves and the have-nots.
Yep.
So all those people who are really upset because this is happening now, it's coming out on TikTok, especially all the farmers and people who bought tickets to get to this inauguration, who flew out to DC, no longer going to be able to see it.
Yep.
But they'll be there for the hate orgy or whatever is on the 19th, which there's just something that there's just things that just haven't settled right with me.
Like, you say hate orgy. That sounds more like a conservative circle jerk. And I really want us to deep dive on that.
All right, well, I don't know if I'd want to deep dive on that. I don't know about deep diving. I don't think they know how to they don't know how to deep dive in anything, first off.
That's a personal mission, my friend.
Yep. But real quick, before we move on to the 19th, let's just real quick for our listeners who aren't watching the video. The tech oligarchs attending the inauguration will be, of course, space douche Elon Musk, the one-eyed bandit Jeff Bezos, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg, douche, TikTok CEO Zhao Zichu, and him. I'm giving him a slight bit of leeway because they're just trying to not get shut down. Yeah, I know, but
I'm not giving anybody no credit. No,
well, you may not.
Business as usual. Business as usual. It's not going to get
and co-founder of ChatGPT, Sam Altman, Apple CEO Tim Cook, Google and Alphabet CEO Sundar Pichai. Sorry if I butchered that. PayPal Peter Thiel, Uber CEO Dara. Venture capitalist David Sachs. So those are the people that own, most of America that'll be kissing Trump's ass this weekend. So what do you guys think?
When you look at Uber, for example, and this is just directly about New York, it's coming to light that Uber and Lyft really lobbied to have it be you had to pay to go into the city.
Yeah.
And so you're looking at it with this congestion pricing that it is becoming something of you have to pay to come hang out. Yeah. You're kicking people of a certain class out of the environment. It is a warfare, if you will, a gentrification of have and have nots.
Yeah.
And certain restaurants are trying to say we'll cover the cost of this, but let's be realistic. That can't go on forever. So we're seeing the change. I see it going into work. I see how reduced it is, which I'm like, at one point I'm like, okay, but at another point I'm like, but this isn't sustainable for New York. This isn't New York. And when you look at that and you look at someone like Uber, you're like, okay, this is what they wanted because their price is not $9 to come in. Their price is $1.50.
Yeah.
And you look at that and you go, how in the hell are you going to make this the system? So it really is coming down to that. And that's just $1.50 of whatever their toll is. They're going to go ahead and price gouge. If it's snowing, raining, anything, they're going to raise their prices on you. Yep. I've seen mine just to get into it when I was in an emergency and I had to get to work. What could have been $50 was $100. I kid you not. And I just sat there. I go, it has to be paid. It has to be paid. I have to get to work. Mind you, in New York, I only live about 3 to 4 miles away from my job. It's just 3 to 4 miles as a direct straight line. That's not New York. There's lots of twists and turns and tunnels or bridges just to get into the city from where I'm at in Brooklyn to get there. And there's a lot of people in between point A and point B. So it's, this is the BS that we're talking about, where it's people with all this money, people with all this funding and background who are now going to be sitting in their little rotunda inauguration. How many total? Maybe 1,000? Maybe?
I don't even think it's that much. Yeah.
It's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be ridiculous. That this is where you're looking at an entire takeover with just power. So
are they going to let the Congress members there?
I mean, well, we already know some are not showing up.
Well, yeah.
Crockett.
Yeah, there's a list. They actually sent out an email. It was cracking me up earlier. That was basically like, okay, these two groups of people are allowed at the inauguration. You might want to let everybody else know that their ticket is basically, like a memento. Yeah, like a souvenir. So I think that cut out a huge majority of even people professionals that were supposed to be there. I actually know somebody that was supposed to be there. I live in Texas. That's my cover. I'm not friends with this person, but they're not happy that they have to go all the way out to DC. And then there's going to be nothing happening. They're like, I could have just watched this on TV. And I'm like, you think he cared about you just because you think you're a millionaire? Okie dokie. Your $60 million company here in Texas means nothing to him. You are a penny pusher. Like, you are nothing to him.
I'm calling them all now poor whites. That's from Doge, mind you. That's from Doge.
Oh,
they love HB1. They don't care for poor whites. Just saying. Just saying.
I'm really glad that you kind of connected that dot, though, Saadia, is that they really don't care about all these people that were coming to celebrate with them. That like you said, have paid thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars to travel, to get your hotel room, all of it.
What did he say? What did he say on the campaign trail?
Which time? I love stupid people.
I just want your vote.
Yeah.
That's it. He was not kidding. He always tells you the truth. I just want your vote.
Yep.
He didn't finish the rest of that thought. I don't give a fuck for you. I just want your vote.
Just standing there swaying with half. Like I told Ryan this, and you guys can call me a conspiracy theorist all you want. I don't believe a guy that had stadiums empty out like over the course of the last year to the point where he's just standing there swaying to music for a few minutes at a time. You can't get me to believe that that's somebody that had the momentum to win all 7 swing states, first time in historical record. And it's just what does crack me up is people understanding what a narcissistic relationship is like, because we're watching everybody go back to their ex, and those of us that know, we're like, oh, okay, go spend that money, go do this, and they'll just keep going back until they get tired. And so we're going to watch that cycle, unfortunately, again and again, a few more times.
Well, how many times did we watch people leave his rallies? Especially at the tail end of all of it. They've all seen this dance. He was a one-trick pony.
His rallies, how many times have we seen him leave his administration?
Well, that's a whole nother conversation. How many Scaramucci's are you going to last? You know what I mean? It's all registered by Scaramucci. Saadia, this is a safe space where we do not label people with that thick stamp of conspiracy theorists. There is common sense that's within the show, and questioning anything, especially like that, I think goes a long way. And you and I, from what I hear, have been both in Ryan's ear about certain conversations
for freaking days.
Are you is he my 10 p.m. brain?
Yes.
I have a brain from 10 a.m. to about like 8 p.m., which is very logical and rational. After 8:05 p.m., oh my God, you would think I'm a kook, and I am not. Ryan knows this. I've never called myself a Democrat. I think I'm a lot further left than people like to accept that I am as a Democrat. Did I help with Harris's campaign? Yes. Have I always had to vote for Democrats because that's the closest I could get to my goal? Yes. This is me telling everybody that I am seeing this math is not mathing. These data scientists are coming to me and bringing me the numbers. I've never heard of a Russian tail in my life.
Yes. Yes, I'm with you. You look at my popcorn. Keep going.
Are you okay? Because I feel like I have been let down by Democrats so many times, right? Like I know other people may champion them. For me, I've always felt like they don't stand by their principles. Like they're just like about decorum and moderates. And I always tell my mom this, that I feel like moderates and centrists have become the modern day doormats for the right. Like they're like, okay, cool, we'll just stampede over you. And
I always remind myself that moderates allowed the civil rights movement to linger longer than it needed to.
Correct.
I always remind myself that moderates allowed slavery to exist in this country. So that's where moderates, that's where the start of my conversation is with moderates, period. That's what they're going to do. They don't want to shift the norms because not only are they benefiting from said system, but they also are afraid of what change may look like. Yeah. And so they just want to just coast on by. And that's where the dialogue of a moderate starts. Sure. And so, yes, if you lean even a little bit, universal health care. Oh, fuck. Where are we going with this? Like, well, who's going to pay for it? Well, let's not talk about the PPP loans that were just paid off and it didn't affect you at all. And we're talking about the millions that went to every single millionaire that we have in this country who filed the paperwork, But you got your stimulus check signed by Donald J. Trump. Good job, you.
Yep, and that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing in this Newsom raising the flag, and I think they're doing that appeasement technique, like just letting a narcissist do their gloating, and that's all they're just gonna kiss his ass. Like, I was so disappointed to see Nelly today is gonna be performing at his inauguration. Snoop Dogg, like, I was just like, what? It's just one after the other going to kiss the ring, and I don't know how they can do that. I mean, I know it's about survival, but there's survival and then there's Nelly.
But you know what I thought when I was reading that today, like Nelly, because Snoop Dogg, that was a big letdown. Yeah. And I'm just like, you know what?
Murder was the case that they gave me. Donald Trump.
Snoop's next single is going to be called "Rape Was the Case That They Gave Me."
Hey, I'm just saying, Martha Stewart's probably gonna be like, I ain't fucking with you no more. I ain't making no curtains, no nothing. All right, no pies. Don't call me. Go fuck yourself. Go ahead, Martha.
But it's just it's tough to watch this happening because you're watching people that you never would think are siding with them. But the first thing I thought was like, this is why I'm never going to be famous. This is why I'm never going to be like filthy rich, because I refuse to bend knee to these people. I refuse to compromise my principles and my morals. Like, I'm not going to be one of these grifters out there that goes whichever way the wind blows, and it gets me in trouble sometimes, but it's like, hey, this is what it is. You're either going to have morals and principles in this game or you're not. And if you're going to put money above everything else, then you show who you are.
Right.
Or clout.
The thing that I will give Snoop a little bit of grace is that it's the crypto event, and he may have not gone into that not knowing. I can't speak for him. But
did you see the invite for it?
I didn't see the invite.
Yeah.
It looks like a fucking wedding for Donald Trump.
Exactly.
So it's gaudy and it's very tacky.
Yes, and it's very evident of what they're doing.
The thing that with Nelly is that's the inaugural ball. Like, what event you're going to, right? But if it says Donald Trump's crypto, whatever, I'll have to look at it after the show. With Snoop, all I have to say is that Eminem is very, very open about how he feels about Trump. So I just look forward to the next recording session at Dre's house, how that's going to go. And that's all I'm going to say to you guys. So,
I mean, Snoop's just going to say, hey, it was about the money. But
look here, nephew, I got kids. My house just burned down. Who knows what the hell he's got going on? I don't know. I don't know where he lives.
But how much money you're Snoop Dogg? Like, like
everywhere.
There's peons like us, right? Like
No. Music industry does not pay. First and foremost, does not pay.
And
he was
well,
the one.
Snoop though, come on.
You guys go look up Snoop Dogg's issue. He's talked about it openly that he's had millions of plays on Spotify and has gotten nothing out of the deal. And we're talking about Snoop Dogg.
Spotify, but everything else.
It's most streaming.
No,
the money coming from the world.
I understand
that I come
from, but that's not what we're talking. We're not just talking about streaming. We're talking about Snoop Dogg.
No, but that's what I'm saying to you. Coming from the world that I've been affiliated with, you are holding on every single receipt because it's more flash than you realize. You're not making hand over fist just buku money. You have to be doing global sales like Taylor Swift, those kind of tours where you're on the road constantly. The only money you're making is when you're on tour. That's the reason why Snoop got creative with his career, where he started doing more TV, teaming up with Martha Stewart, doing a couple things, the Olympics.
Podcasts.
These are things that have really helped him to actually bring in money. His and he doesn't even own most of the rights of his stuff. He didn't start owning his rights. He didn't start owning his rights until No Limit, where Master P taught him the business side. He was getting screwed over for a majority, just like how TLC had the number one record, and
none of this changes the fact that Snoop Dogg doesn't need the fucking money.
But that's my point. Who knows what money he does need? I'm not his accountant.
Well,
so
I'll tell you what Snoop Dogg just did. He just took the reputation that he had built, like at the Olympics and everything, of being everybody's fucking uncle and all that bullshit. He just took all that and threw it the fuck away for Donald Trump.
And I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. I'm just saying money-wise, being your uncle is not paying his bills. So I don't know what bills he has or what his going on.
Bullshit being my uncle wasn't paying his bills because me buying his shit pays his bills.
That's my point.
If I no longer feel that way about him, then fuck you. I'm no longer paying your bills.
Depending on what you were buying, and if it was literally one of his old records.
You are trying to like way muddy this up, dude. Like it's very simple. It's very fucking simple. He lost a lot of fucking people today.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And matter of fact, I was just talking about how great he was for the Olympics. Who knows if he's going to even get that in the future? Because of
I hope he doesn't. I'm sorry, and I don't like, especially people like the Black communities and people of color. I'm not a person that likes to turn away like supporting them or support. I don't like down talking them because they've got enough of that from everywhere. But what Snoop Dogg did today was say, I'm better than that, and that makes me feel a certain way. Like that just made me feel like, there's people that hold on to their principles. I'm a peon. I got my credentials revoked from the DNC and everything because I dared to ask.
Did you really?
Cory fucking Booker. Yes.
How did I not know this?
Because I went up to Cory Booker and I asked him a couple of questions while there was a creator event that, I know what it feels like to get ousted from a lot of those campaigns, but I stood on what I felt like.
They took away your credentials from that event. I saw you do that. They took away your credentials.
I wasn't allowed to go to the DNC. I did not receive communications. I was iced out like I had threatened him like I was going to take his life or something. Thank God, Lex.
That's how the DNC rolls, baby.
And I told my husband, I called him that night and I said, I want to leave here because everything is so fraud. Like, I thought that you could have a genuine conversation. That wasn't even something I was recording. Thank goodness my friend that was there recorded it because she's smart. And people started talking like, oh, she made these threats. I was like, oh my God, they used the T word. They used the terrorist word. I started panicking. I'm like, I don't even have proof of this. Thank goodness, like I said, Lex recorded it and put it up. But
these were Democrats saying that?
Yeah, this is it. I remember this event.
I remember the event.
Were you
calling you terrorists and shit?
Please, they won't.
No, we saw the video. I saw the video.
Yeah,
I think I shared the video with Ryan because him and I talk a lot behind the scenes, and I was like, "Yo, is this your girl?" I go, "Definitely going ham on Cory Booker." I was talking about it directly, and I was like, good for her for saying what you were saying. I could tell it wasn't malicious. You literally were genuine when you were asking, and Cory was trying to do all these other things, and then he tried to scapegoat and go to the side, and then start talking to somebody else, and you go, "I'm asking you a question though. Why are you walking away?"
Well, that was Lex. Yeah, that's when she took over. Yes, she got mad because she could tell he was being condescending and little girl, be quiet. But that aside, and the only reason I bring that incident up is because I know what it feels like to get iced out of money. Okay, it's pennies to the dollar in comparison to somebody like Snoop. But I don't think I could have slept like at night knowing that I had that opportunity and I didn't take it, or that I did the wrong thing. And so people like Snoop Dogg, Sylvester Stallone probably has been an ass his whole life. There's a few others. Yeah, like that's a man that needs money. Okay, like if there's anybody who doesn't have a stable career, him, I'd say, okay,
you latched onto this like a freaking leech, man.
My man has the William Wallace paint on his face right now. You already know.
That's
you already know. You already know.
I have it hurt with Snoop Dogg because, like you said, he's been everybody's uncle. He's been so involved, like he's really immersed himself in so many different ways. Sylvester Stallone, we saw him in Tulsa King, and I was like, let's watch this show to support this guy. As soon as we heard, I was like, delete it. Delete it.
Yeah. I'm not sticking up for Snoop. I'm just saying that the music industry is toxic. It's poisonous. There's a reason why the money is not being made by the artists. So just talking about the music and everything you buy of his, the money is made on tours, and clearly Snoop is not touring like that anymore.
No, his money's made on streaming and clicks, and I think you're underestimating how much money he makes on the podcast and stuff.
Ryan, go Google it. He's literally the one bitching about it. He's actually the one on the forefront, absolutely talking about how disgusting the industry is.
Oh, music. Yeah, no, I know. I'm talking about podcasts.
Right. Well, even with that, people are not becoming millionaires being a guest on a podcast or doing whatever his tour is.
He has his own, though.
Saadia, how much are we paying you for this?
Don't tell him, Saadia. Don't tell him.
Hold on. Do I need to be a guest on some
You
shows?
didn't make the deal. You didn't make the deal.
I was gonna like I get what you're trying to say, but I think Ryan and I may be referring to his career before this. You know, when there were platinum selling CDs, when we had to go out and buy the albums. Like
Again,
I feel like it was pennies on the dollar.
Both.
Yeah, I feel like it was a lot more, more than, not significantly more. I watched the whole NSYNC breakdown of how much they got paid, almost nothing after Perlman got through their money. But I think like they've had those years to build it up. Taylor Swift is like an exception. She makes a whole bunch of money. But look at like Kendrick. So Kendrick has had to figure out his way through this too, right? Like there's artists that we see that have established careers that are still figuring out their way through it. I just don't feel like
I would love to know how much he made off the streams of
we can
Not Like
have
Us.
This conversation, I think, on another time, because when I say this to you guys, I'm talking from experience of working in the music industry, and it's the part where it's like looking at someone like, because I used to work for Talib Kweli, blacksmith, and that's what brought me to New York, and then I worked with Beyonce. I saw the difference in concerts. You see the difference in what's generating and bringing in money. But when I say that to you, with Snoop, everything that was CDs, and this is what I'm saying about all of it, that money was not being generated until he got to Master P, which was already in 2000 something. Yeah, so that's when he started learning how to make money in the music industry, where it was sustainable to really build generational wealth or build wealth in regardless. And And I'm not saying that he's the smartest person with money. I don't know his financials, but in general,
seems pretty smart with his money.
In general, what I will agree with you guys on is that he threw it all away. To do anything that's affiliated with this brand is toxic. And if anybody didn't learn from the last time around, I didn't realize 3 Doors Down could have gotten any lower. I haven't heard a peep of them until I just said it to you guys right now, because they were there at the inauguration. They were the biggest thing last inauguration. Carrie Underwood already just lost millions of streamers, gone. And then now with Snoop, I can't imagine. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Eminem was texting him like, bro, fuck you and that orange clown. Like I wouldn't be shocked about that. But you know, Eminem's busy. He has things he has to do.
Yes, Detroit Lion business.
We got more important things
we gotta do. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at.
Gibson and
I'm so glad you're here, Saadia. I'm so glad.
Nice to meet you, by the way. And it's good to see you again, Ryan.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the energy was going to be like or anything, so this is pretty chill. This is a lot more chill.
Yeah, just fuckery. Just a Friday fuckery. That's all it is.
Yeah, we definitely try to keep it whatever. Yeah, no, it's definitely interesting to see the fallout that's happening from some of these folks. And it's definitely been some disappointments on my end. You know, I said, I don't have a problem with what's up.
Did you see Roseanne's rap with she did a
Roseanne
rap?
Barr?
Yes, and she has her hair rode up. All right. She's got it just came out 6 or 8 hours ago. It would not upload to the server. I think even the server was like, I'm not hosting that shit. It is the most disturbing. And she even turns around and wags her booty in the screen a couple of times. It's foul. It's a whole rap.
I just imagine her looking like the Crypt Keeper right now. That's it.
She's got the Ozempic. Yeah, she's got the Ozempic face going. Oh my god.
I'm not gonna.
If I can pull it. Where's it at?
Here she is, right there. I don't know if you can see her.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's her people.
Oh. Well, and you tell me that it's not a cult. Okay.
Oh my god.
I just want you to know that exists, and
yeah, no, thank you so much for this.
I can't unsee that. I cannot unsee
that. We won, you mad, it's done, too bad, boo-hoo, so sad. We won, you mad, you cry, we laugh, we wave the flag. Thank God that we're back.
Oh my god, make it
4 years, that's a wrap.
And I don't see one black person in this rap video.
You got lipstick on your
damn.
You're a man, that is cap, that is
tell me you're at a clan.
Isn't that Canadian douchebag?
Yeah.
He's not even in the United States. He's fucking Canadian.
If you want our freedom, come and take it back.
Fucking Canadian.
He's just surrounded by the American flag.
He's fucking Canadian. I'm pretty sure
Trump was talking about when he said he's going to take over Canada. Jesus Christ.
Holy shit.
Yeah, she has a whole bar. Bar has a bar.
Canadian rapper and singer. once again, you MAGA stupid.
Well, it just shows you the fraud, the level, the layers to this. Like,
and just so you know, all you MAGA dumb fucks out there, don't say I'm lying. Here he is, Tom McDonald, rapper, 1988, fucking is a Canadian rapper, singer, and songwriter. So.
Why is he giving this like fuck me face? What is it? What is this going on? What is it? This is like prison rap. What is going on?
That looked like he was taking. There's a part where she raps too, by the way.
Oh,
do we want to do this?
Right there.
Take away with that jam. Me and say they try to cancel me and say that I'm a racist. Got a mean hook. They can't get me with that jam. Trying to take away my right to go and say this. Well, listen up, cause this gun is going bad. With the facts. Why they trying to turn Becky into Dan? You get screw Eminem. I'm Roseanne.
We won. You mad? It's done. Too bad.
All right.
Screw Eminem. I'm Roseanne. Holy shit.
I will now be playing this.
She signed her death certificate with that. Eminem, good luck, like lady.
Yeah,
good luck.
right? You know he's not going to let that slide.
Oh my God.
There's no way in hell Eminem lets that slide.
Next, you know, Eminem's been dying to have a beef with somebody, and he hates older women.
That's not a beef. That's a snack for him.
That's gonna be a snack bite. But
oh my God,
everybody
eats fast food sometimes. Okay, it's gonna be a good meal.
Tavi's like, yes, unfortunately, he's one of ours.
Now she took a check and was like, I needed it. I'd be like, yes, I get it. Like, okay, you know, like that's something.
Man.
Like,
is this the white version of Snoop and Martha? Oh my God, Lord help us.
Animal. I love her. It's so good.
Doesn't it feel like before, Ryan, when we used to watch that, we used to do these lives during COVID, and like they would pull these clips up. And
I don't know if he's still here, but where was he? Who used to host all the things with us?
Danish?
No, not him. No, not fucking him. Fuck Danish.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's COVID stuff. Literally locked in our rooms.
Something was a trigger.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I can't see. Oh, food. No, food expert.
Oh,
Bert was in here.
Where's Bert?
Yeah, he was in here. I was trying to find the comment. I put it up real quick when it was on the screen, but yeah, he was in here for a minute. And he used to host. He was the first podcast I ever went on during COVID. And then here he is. And he would get like, 6-8 of us all together, and we'd all jump on a Friday night, and we just bullshit. And we did that for quite a few months.
Yes.
I remember. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
it was so fun.
I'm glad that nothing has changed in your life, Ryan. Fridays and bullshit.
Friday and bullshit.
Grow the fuck up, okay?
I know. They say find a way to make money doing what you love.
There it is.
Hey.
So we briefly talked about this, and I was eating it all up. Conspiracy theory or not, how many laws are there? The justice manuals versus the executive orders. It's not conspiracy. It's not.
They've been updating them, and they've been updating them. Like, what are you? You better not be updating them for fun. Like,
and this is let's just rewind a little bit to get some people privy to this. You've been in Ryan's ear. I've been in Ryan's ear. I told Ryan that I've been going crazy. I go, you got me into TikTok. I've gone down this rabbit hole. But at the same time, I then get off TikTok to go read up on X, Y, and Z to see what's going on. And then it's just me sending clip after clip after cutout after cutout. I look like a psychopath. Okay.
Me too.
I'm talking in numbers. I'm like, EO 138448. Look it up. Look it up. Look it up. That's the one that Trump created, and then Biden in 2022 updated.
Correct.
Which he just did a EO just recently. Was it 13894?
Last night.
That one. Cybersecurity. And here we are. And when we're sitting here talking about this, it would be, I believe, Section 3 under E. That's how crazy I am right now because I've been going through these. And is it
Section 3E?
So you got to go down further.
A,
That's
B.
B. Oh,
Keep
wait.
going.
Well, are you sure you're right?
Down. It's not.
That's
No,
section.
it's further down. It's further down.
Section 3? Or is this...
Just keep going down. Let's see.
Somebody asked about Red Note. Oh, all of Red Note. My whole Red Note has become English American speaking, trying to speak Mandarin. So
did you see that China is moving all of us Americans on our VPN to a different server?
To a separate, to a separate
together. They don't want us all mingling. It's so interesting.
This has been the greatest social experiment I've ever seen in my life.
It's so interesting. You thank you, Supreme Court. You literally just gave us to the Chinese government, and we did exactly the opposite of what you wanted. How is your Mandarin, by the way?
She is very small right now. But
improving by the day.
Yeah, my memes though, my Chinese meme game has gone up like significantly. So
that's what's up. Are you doing American politics out there, or because they apparently eat it up?
So I have not yet. The thing is, I'm like a little like, because I post on different platforms, and so I'm like a little exhausted at the moment. I'm like, just make up your damn mind. Where are we going? So not yet, but I'm having fun. Oh, there's Bert right there. It's so good to see.
Oh, he's still here.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, good times.
Yeah.
Imagine that we were back in the same cycle again.
Right. Oh my God. We really are. Oh.
I can't believe it. Like there's nothing, and they know this. The thing is, they know this. They've been letting on. And Kamala Harris, since day one, and I've never been a huge Harris fan. Like you've known this, Ryan, since the beginning, even when
Section
she ran.
5, Rob.
Yeah.
Or Section 5.
Ryan, Section 5, letter
let her finish.
Yeah.
Please continue.
No, you were looking it up. Yeah. She's so confident. Like she doesn't look like somebody she looks like somebody that's like, I got the roach. Like, I know exactly where the roach is. And I'm only reading body language. I could care less. I'm not a huge, like I said, I'm not like the biggest, I don't wear her merch or anything like that. I just feel like something more is up, but it's just too down to the wire to do anything. Like it would be so unsafe to do anything in the next 2 days with that many people in DC.
Well, this is where I was saying to Ryan about a couple of things. And I go, the thought that they have the rioting fencing up,
to
me, is not the same fencing that they had up for an inauguration.
Oh, okay.
Because when you have the normal barricades, it's like what you have here in Times Square for New Year's Eve. Again, went to a inauguration. It's just that the police lock and chain, silver, gated, move the crowds through these streets. That's it. We're talking about the bolted down riot black fencing that is about 6 to 7, 8 feet tall. And it's still up since the election. They've not pulled anything down, and all the major buildings they still have protected in case of anything. So we were talking about this in like the significance of what January 19th was, and that yes, it is down to the wire, but the whole situation of what 9-8-5-300 is regarding being able to investigate any type of voter fraud, any type of fraudulent activity during an election. Ryan and I would get into this debate, and he brings up some really solid points. And it would be me like, hey, Ryan, like looking like Tiny Tim and shit. And I'm like, look at what I found here. Look at the bag of goods I have. And he's like, calm down, Tiny Tim, calm down. It's like Oliver Twist, right? Let me get my bowl of soup. And he's just literally sitting there. He goes, you're not getting more. Like, I'm just cut off. He would literally smack me down and be like, well, Ian, when was this created and who was in power when this was created and what was happening? And then we kind of deduced, oh, this was after Comey. And when he came out with the Hillary thing, and he was just like, we have emails and we're still investigating her. And it's like, well, that was 2 weeks before the election. And he was like, well, then that was illegal what Comey did. And then we looked at it, we go, oh, this was created after Comey.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And then it was updated, as you see, August 2022. So we said, this is interesting. This is a law that's now being implemented for a manual for anybody in the DOJ that has to understand that you cannot say nothing until after an election is certified.
Sure.
And there was a level of confidence with Kamala where why did she and Joe do an emergency
on Christmas? You're like me. I'm like, this is my 12 a.m. My husband's trying to go to bed. I'm like, no, I've got
My wife won't even look at me. I only have Ryan. You are so lucky that you can look at your partner and that they still want to talk to you. Okay.
And my
I
dog.
look like Rain Man talking about 9-85300. Are you serious? My wife hates this show, and she hates me more now because
No.
my kids don't even talk to me anymore.
I thought it was
One of
just because
them's
she
an
was pregnant, but
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, well,
we haven't.
We have Damien. He's here. You know him. He brought Lucifer, so it's all happening. It's all good. It's all good. My little boys. They're great. They're doing great. At some point, CEO Christian Ortiz is going to sign one of them. So it'll be great.
Do you know? Did you see Christian wrote a book? He wrote a book about like racism and decolonization.
Really?
Yep. Because he started, he sponsors the podcast. He started a thing called Justice AI.
Oh,
and he came on the show and showed us how it works. It is freaking incredible.
It was a great episode.
Oh.
Yeah.
Saadia, you don't have to be just a guest. You could watch an episode or two just to see what the vibe
I didn't
is.
even know it was back until like a week ago.
You jumped into this not knowing what this show was really going to be like? You're brave.
She has a blind faith in me. That's what it is.
I literally have been flying by the seat. Like, I got a call today from a pretty big news organization, and they're like, we want to ask you how you feel as a TikToker with the TikTok ban. And I said, so you're not going to edit anything out? Because I need you to not edit anything out. And she was like, okay. And I said, how the fuck do you think I'm feeling with a fucking TikTok ban? I said, don't redact any word that I said. And then she's just like, understandable, you're upset. And then she goes, what did you think about the debates about banning TikTok? I said, what debate? They packed it into a fucking bill and now are scrambling around trying to save their asses so they don't have Luigi and Mario Party come after them. 170 million. And then she goes, I got a couple more questions. I was like, I don't got more answers for you. So if she uses it, I'm going to send you guys the article. If not,
Please do.
That's been my week. Okay. Just like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm here.
Good for you. Good for you. Tell them the truth.
I don't care anymore.
It's interesting right now, the landscape of all this that's happening.
It is.
You know, I mean, and I told Ryan, I go, the moment that SoftBank got into bed with Trump, I go, TikTok's not going anywhere. This is going to be a negotiation. Now, the question really is going to land for you guys. If Elon buys it or an American company buys it, how much do you trust it?
Nobody trusts it right now. They're ready to. There's people that are like, the damage is irreparable. What they've done to TikTok.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling tomorrow they will go dark for drama's sake. I think they're going to go because Trump has probably talked to them and be like, I need you to shut off your shit on Sunday. And then on Monday, it's going to rise from the ashes because I already see it.
He's going to have a bill,
you heard it here first,
executive
guys.
Order. There it is.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
This is me, the crazy, like the meme with all the like, the red dots.
With the red string. With all the red string. Go ahead. Go ahead, Sherlock. Show us the path.
That's what it's going to be. And I think it's irreparable damage. And I know some people were telling me like, oh, I can't believe you're still posting on Instagram and this and that. Fuck Mike Zuckerberg. And I said, you don't think Mr. Shu would do the same thing, like to save his platform?
Yeah. And
now they're like, oh, but this is different. I'm like, it's not different. They all have to kiss the ring to play the game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, accurate.
Well, this is where we have this line in the sand. We've done all this red tape, Sherlock Holmes, follow the connections. And I keep saying to Ryan that it's too coincidental. And I don't believe in coincidence where it's lining up this much. Because as we've mentioned, all this stuff of the DOJ and when they're allowed to investigate and when they're allowed to look in things, the Russian tail, again, I'm eating it all.
Oh, you did it too?
I'm eating it all. That's why I did this.
Like,
I'm eating it all up. And I'm sitting there, and then with all the codes,
should have sent you all each other's numbers. What I should have done.
Literally, we never would have gone to bed. My wife would have thought I was cheating. She'd be like, "Who is Saadia? You filthy bastard!" I'm like, "She's my what? But we're trying to figure out to save the world." She'd be like,
we can't accept this is the truth because we know it's. I'm sorry, women's intuition. I told Ryan I've only had this feeling like a couple of times in my life.
She said twice.
Not alone.
Yeah, and I have never before, and I have never been wrong. And if this is the wrong time, cool. That's fine. I'll take it. But I know that's because they don't want to actually open up the can of worms that it is.
And you're not wrong. You're not wrong. My sister said the same thing. She has that intuition. I mean, people who are in tune feel it, and you're not alone. And I say that in the context that there's these small pockets of all of us who are kind of finding each other and talking about it. And then there's enough that are brave that are sharing their findings. And then we're going down deeper down the rabbit hole again, eating it all up. And then it's like talking to Ryan, who smacked me down. And then something happened. And I saw the click in Ryan where I go, oh, so I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. This is not crazy. And then he started talking about you, and I go, we need to talk. Like, we got to get this conversation going. The fact that they got rid of, what's his name, Turner, Mr. Turner, that was the
head of the intelligence.
You were just crushing my outline. I want you to know that.
Well, it's all part of this conversation, Ryan. It's all part of this conversation. So don't we normally crush your outline? Your outline is phenomenal, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
It was just a lot of 3 a.m.s just texting you all this stuff. It's just like the speaker, Mike Johnson, removes Mike Turner of House Intelligence Committee, right?
You only brought me one.
That didn't need to happen this week.
That's the only one you brought.
If that was going to happen, that could have happened last week. Give our love to Jen. So that could have happened next week. That could happen on Monday. That could have happened on Tuesday, whatever the case is. So why would they get rid of him a week prior to the inauguration, saying that Mar-a-Lago has concerns?
Yeah, what kind of mafia ass answer is that? Mar-a-Lago has. I busted out laughing. I was like, Mike
that is
Johnson,
a quote. Mar-a-Lago has.
Well, I mean, they're all going down there to kiss his ring.
Yeah, Mike Johnson looks like the dollar store fucking what do you call it? Stephen Colbert. Like, I can't stand that like little shit. He is just the most useless. Like oh my god!
I was not expecting that.
Add a little powdered sugar for his little beignet. All right,
Yeah.
my little.
Oh my god!
Man.
There can only be one good. There's always like the twins. There's always one good and the evil, and like there's just I'm not. Yeah,
so good. There's part of this where, and again, talking to Ryan about this, it's connecting all these dots and saying, okay, so things were supposed to lead up to the 19th. And then it comes out that Trump's having this love fest, this conservative circle jerk, whatever this shit that's coming, right? And then it's like, well, why is he having all his people come around him on the 19th?
Yeah.
Why did Marjorie Taylor Greene say after the inauguration, we really hope that we can?
Yeah. And Russia is saying that we don't know. There's Democrats out after you. Who is it? The little hand puppet that Russia has keeps warning Donald, you have to be careful. It might be one of the Democrats is going to do something. Like, what are like? It's
is
not
that Steve
just
Bannon
us.
Or is that Michael Flynn? Who's the puppet?
No. He's a Russian. He's a Russian guy. He's oh my God, where's my brain?
His name
I
like
will
Oleg?
find it and say, I'm sorry.
Is his name like Oleg? Like we're talking
Russian.
Of those?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
Russian. Saying, and I feel like you and I probably cross on TikTok. The Empress CJJ by chance. She's the one. Yeah, so she's very well spoken, and she kind of like whenever I feel kind of crazy, I go over there. I'm like, did you notice this? And when it feels so like satisfying to know people like you and her are. I'm a pattern recognizer. When I see somebody, whether it's like in my personal life or what, I see something slightly off. I immediately like, okay, this person has stopped responding to my texts on purpose. This is not their normal behavior. I need to check in with them, or I need to give them space. Like that's the type of person I am. Something here is, but the thing is it going to be this giant sting? I just don't feel like the United States has it in them to do this giant sting. Like
and that's the part that Ryan reminds me. The same DNC that treated you the way it treated you, the same DNC that treated Ryan the way it treated Ryan, is the same DNC that's going to show its belly in this moment, if there is something, because they rather be about the optics versus the actual democracy. And that's the part where I said to Ryan was, this is make or break for me. Depending on how things kind of play out. And again, to all of our listeners, and first and foremost, you guys, welcome to Hold the Mic. We definitely love our trolls that are here. We have a lot of fun with you. You guys could be anywhere, but you want to join us because you know that we are entertaining and we're having a good conversation. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button. This is something that I find interesting because you feel like a conspiracy theorist, and I hated that you had to say that. Like, this may be, I never want you to lead with that, especially on this show. there's a part where it is something where I want to be able to freely talk about this because it does make you feel that way. But you're only quoting actual documented government, codes. This stuff.
Well,
Biden literally just updated it, like you said, a day or two ago.
That's
for cybersecurity.
Why don't we read the big number you keep repeating, which is 9-85.30.
Thanks for calling me Rain Man. Appreciate it, Ryan.
Hey.
There's 2 numbers, by the way.
I'm good at counting cards. Let's do this.
So this is the one that was interesting because why this executive order had been signed back in, I believe it was 2018. Yep, right here. So it was updated. Some parts were updated in 2018, as you can see here. Some were updated in 2020. But the one that's in question that Ian and Saadia are talking about were updated in August of 2022. So now keep that little nugget in mind as I read this. Ballot fraud is crime involving the process by which voters are registered, votes are cast, or votes are tabulated. The department has long recognized that the states, not the federal government, are responsible for administering elections, determining the validity of votes, and tabulating the results, with challenges handled by the appropriate election administrators, officials, legislatures, and courts. The department has a limited role in these processes and should generally avoid interfering or appearing to interfere with election administration, tabulation, validation, or certification. See Section 9-85.500. The department's role is limited to investigating and prosecuting violations of federal election laws and deterring criminal conduct. Accordingly, the department should not engage in overt criminal investigative measures in matters involving alleged ballot fraud until the election in question has been concluded, its results certified, and all recounts and election contests concluded. Doing otherwise runs the risk of chilling legitimate voting and campaign activities and of interjecting the investigation itself into ongoing campaigns and the adjudication of any ensuing election contest. It may, however, often be appropriate in consultation with the Public Integrity Section to share information and allegations involving such matters with state or local authorities where an immediate need for overt measures exists. Exceptions to this policy may be recognized, but only with approval of the Public Integrity Section. So that's the wording that has us all kind of going, interesting.
Yeah, and it's not the ballots. It's not the ballots. It's the tabulation. And that's when they start, people have been data scientists. I mean, there have been people begging and I know we're great, like all the people that are regular data scientists and stuff, you guys are amazing. But I know that the government has, if we are seeing it, they have to be like 15 steps ahead of us. I mean, they know the second we submit our taxes that we haven't claimed $600. So you mean to tell me you can do that and not know this? That's insane to me.
So let me ask you this. Let's walk down history, little history lane. What did cybersecurity ninjas do in Arizona with voting machines?
They investigated the election here in Arizona for like 6 to 9 months. And,
investigated.
Yeah, moved the tabulations around once to a different state into the guy that owned Cyber Ninja's personal cabin in Colorado, I believe it was. Then moved him back into another stadium. Then they had to have homecomings and they moved it out of the stadium into storage units. Then they moved it back into the stadium. You know, who knows? They did. And then
they were returned in a Walmart parking lot into a parking lot.
Yes, but the best part of the whole thing wasn't any of that. It was when they released what their findings were, was that they actually found less votes for Donald Trump and more for Joe Biden. That was the best part of the whole thing.
But I want to get to the bottom of the tabulation.
What about it?
Figuring out how the tabulations work. The fact that they had these machines in their care, and didn't all the constituents, taxpayers, have to pay for now new machines because these were ruined?
Correct.
So it cost people more money in Arizona?
I do believe so. I do remember this. Yes.
They studied the machines.
Yeah, for 9 months.
For 9 months. And this right here, 9-85-300, talks about the tabulation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're talking about people dissecting a ballot box, a machine, how it tabulates, but yet their findings, is that really what they were trying to do? Is my point. What was the actual purpose of them doing this? Cyber ninjas.
Yeah, what were they, and that's where our opinions come in, right? Like, what were you actually doing? Because we don't actually have facts to prove that.
With that at all.
Yeah. So that I would consider like, okay, this is my personal, like, this is what my personal questions are of this.
But this is where the coincidental is what I mean.
Correct. And then there's so many of
up.
those. Yeah. How many of those do we have like stacked up? Because I can tell you, me personally, like it literally is at like midnight, my husband will look over at me. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I got to tell you something." And it's literally like this look. And then I'm like, okay. And I tell my parents this too. And we have calls about like, you know, like politics and stuff. I'm like, okay, I'm going to wear my tinfoil hat real quick. So I always lead into this. And I always tell them everything I'm telling you can be looked back upon. And I just feel like I just don't have faith in the system. We can all see it. All this stuff is lining up. Is anything going to come on the 19th? Is anything going to happen on the 20th? Like, because the 19th is the day that it has to happen, right? That's the 30 days from the executive order.
Which is what Ryan and I were talking about. He was like, well, where is this? Why is it on the 19th? Like, why is this today? And I go, well, it's part of this 30-day from when they started. But here's the other thing. The SEC finds that Iran and Russia interfered with this election and that then they penalize them, which is part of the executive order. Ryan, I don't know if you want to bring that one up, but 13848 is the executive order. That is exactly what they found and why they penalized those two countries. Well, the specific entities in those countries. And so you're sitting here and you go, okay, well, wait a minute. So here we are once again. And we knew that Iran, not alone, hacked both. We knew that they were going to play bothism, right? They were going to try to, what they did to one, they wanted to do the other, but we know they wanted to find more dirt on the others. What I want to know is that young man from Arizona, was it Arizona or Texas, who hacked both of their phones, Trump's and Hillary's?
Yeah. What happened with that? Like,
I want to know what happened with him. No idea. Crickets. You know, we know more about Luigi with the CEO than we do about the pea shooter in Pennsylvania. Let's be serious. Think about it.
Trump's assassin.
Did you guys see this?
Point.
Which one?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Russia and Iran signed a 20-year, basically, partnership
treaty
today.
Yep.
Cool.
So this is one. Well, and this is the part where
that eye roll that Saadia just gave.
But Saadia, this is the thing where and listening to it is that if this is on a bigger scale, because looking at what Elon is also doing in Germany, in Australia, England, what he's been trying to tamper with their elections. Is this on a bigger scale? Is NATO getting involved? And that's the thing where I'm wondering, is that why there's a slow burn here, where it's like it's bumping up to something? And this
France,
is the part.
I'm so sorry, just to interject. No. France said that they were threatening to seize his assets, correct?
Yeah.
Wait, to seize Trump's assets?
No.
Oh, Elon. I'm sorry. Who's? Elon's? Okay.
Yeah. Because of the fact that Elon is getting involved in everybody's election now.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And, he thinks he's playing checkers with everybody. And this is the thing that I find really intriguing. In Canada. But at the same time, it's one of those things where NATO took over the air defense space in Poland because they have no faith in whatever is coming next here.
Correct.
And so they're like, okay, we're going to take over this because you guys need to figure out whatever is about to happen over there. But now let's talk about being here with Jake. I don't know his last name, but the speaker for news media with the Intelligence Committee.
Okay.
His statement this past week. Ryan did a special of it recently, and that's when I knew, Saadia, that we got him. We got Ryan wrapped in. Because now he's making videos about this, and I go, welcome to the party. And he's like, I fucking hate you. And it's like,
it's okay. Asif joined this week finally after my
month
of craze. Finally, he's like, okay, I see what you're saying, but are they going to do anything about it? It's like,
do you see what it takes for us to get our husbands into this? Do you see what I'm saying? And Jen knows. You're my bitch. Jen knows. Okay, this is.
Oh my goodness.
Just remember who controls the checkbook. Okay.
Yeah. And he's and the thing I knew, the thing I knew something was off right after he got elected, and he was quiet. That
he does not look happy.
Was quiet for 40, and you should be so nervous if a narcissist is quiet.
Yeah.
They are scheming, and so like my entire body went into like shutdown mode. I was like, he's gonna do something really bad, or he has done something really bad.
Yeah.
Like,
but this is the video that finally got me on the bus.
I hope this is my last time at this podium, at least for a little while. I don't mean that in a negative sense. I mean, the only thing that would bring me back is an unexpected event in the next few days, which, as you all know, is totally possible given everything you've seen over the course of the past years. But if it is, in fact, my last time before you, I just want to say thank you for...
Now, when I heard...
What got you?
That's what got me.
Okay.
Because I'm sitting there thinking, what? Like, why would you say that on your...
As a goodbye.
As your outgoing briefing? Yeah. It just... Yeah, that was like, with everything else... Like, I never said that it wasn't there. And I told Ian this. I go, this is not like we're using left-wing... media bullshit articles. No. Like, these are executive orders. These are literal coming from the Justice Department. We're reading from there. And then we're connecting the dots of what's actually happening. Like, these are all things happening. We're not philosophizing. We're not making things up. We're not guessing. These are happening. And we're going in it with, if you combine those actions and these events with these executive orders and the, what we're getting from the Justice Department, then could something happen? Yeah, absolutely. There is a legal precedent for them to stop this dude from being, and we're not even talking about the 14th Amendment, but yes, it is there in black and white. And
isn't it a self-executing document like the Jack Smith stuff that came out? I'm like, excuse me, as far as I know it,
American as apple pie.
Like, I don't get it. Like, and I have, I was born and raised here, and I have family that lives in like the UK and stuff, and they're like, what are y'all doing? I'm like, I don't know what.
Don't blame me.
Like, I got to the point
what you say fuck me for? That's what we all feel like right now. That's what we all feel like. We are all 50 Cent. We are all 50 at this moment.
What'd you say fuck me for?
Yeah, I just, it got to the point where I felt so crazy right after the election. I am not religious. I am agnostic. I don't believe in anything. I started going to the astrologers podcast, and I'm like, tell me what's going on. Like, what?
Homegirl is reading the stars
she needs
right
something.
Now.
Yeah, she needs something.
Literally following the wind. You're about to be on some Mary Poppins shit. She's like, the east wind is blowing. I have to go. No. There is a child in another city I must take care of right now.
Stop it.
When I tell you.
There's more people that are seeing it, right? Like, I used to feel like with my ex. I used to be like, am I crazy? Like, and I used to start writing down patterns, right? And he was a narcissist. So for me, this feels like deja fucking vu. And I'm just like, oh no. But this time I can't do anything about it.
I love that you just goes to Brian, like, that's what got you involved? It's like, no, I'm telling you, I went at him. It took you,
like,
me,
that's
and
what got
a lot
you?
of this stuff. And then finally that was the last grain of sand that really did break his back.
No, but it was so subtle. It was so subtle. That's what I find. Because even me, I watched that and I was like, oh, that could be a joke, some stupid. But
he's
like,
not laughing. He's not. Mm-mm.
No, why did that get you? Like, I'm just curious. What was it about? Like, was it his sincerity or?
Well, first off, I think you two motherfuckers texting me nonstop for 2 days had me, like my antennas were up, like, well, that's fucking strange.
You're welcome.
Like,
You're welcome.
But no, I mean, again, for me, having somebody like Jake Sullivan stand up at the podium and say, well, unless something fucking crazy happens, this will probably be my last time up here. It's just weird.
Will? Like that fact that he said, but you, as you know, will. Like, it's
and
like,
he hates this job. Like, he doesn't want it. Like, he clearly hates it. He's like, I don't want to be here, but I might be. Shit.
He goes, I know you guys are surprised I showed back up, so am I. So let's just do this.
Can't say I've enjoyed being up here, but shit, I might be back on Tuesday. Like,
but it's also looking at how Kamala has been throughout this entire process and how she's looking at the camera, how the things that she has actually said to people, it has been very subtle. This outgoing speech by President Biden, people were looking it up. They go, how common is it that outgoing president doesn't mention the name of the new incoming president?
Sure,
And they go,
sure.
it's never happened. It's never happened before in American history, from what is documented. It's never been, president that is leaving has never said the new president's name coming in, but instead talked about
Interesting.
oligarchs and talking about how he's worried for democracy and that he's alarmed. And you're like, what is Joe trying to do? Because we know he's not a good public speaker, so let's not have him be the messenger on this one. Let's not.
We know.
But as I've always said throughout this entire broadcast of this show, Joe is dangerous behind closed doors. And one of the things is, because he's a quiet voice, he's not trying to be bombastic, but he definitely is very precise. He has the longest resume in that seat, meaning he has that much history within government to then become president. He knows the inner and outer workings of how government is. And I'm like, he's not going to be the one on a megaphone with this. But also Kamala, she's so relaxed, like a prosecutor who knows, just like how Jack Smith was. I have the evidence. Here it is. And I just need to get this case going. Now, I don't know how the justice system literally got played the way it did with Trump, with all the delays and the delay. Like, it just showed you how much of a joke the justice system is. And if you do not have the funds to delay things, then your ass is going to jail real fast. And because there's no way, having 34 felonies, are you just going to be just willy-nilly doing whatever you want, let alone the unconditional discharge that he got. And when you're sitting here and you're looking at all this stuff, and you look at the cyber ninjas, you look at everything that's there. I don't have to second guess myself when I go, well, I do think it's odd that they allow these devices to be taken out of government control without being investigated, without actual proper people to handle it, to be in the room with them. That you're just going to let some third party that just happened to start that time, because it wasn't a company that's been around like IBM or Apple, who's like, we would like to do this, blah, 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 with the help of the government and go through this stuff and look at the tabulations.
And went out of business before it was actually officially done, by the way.
Correct.
So
the one picture that really got me, like I said, I'm just a person that notices patterns. I guess, when Biden gave his farewell, I was out doing other things. I was like, I'm not watching this. For whatever reason, I couldn't bring myself to doing that, because I have my personal views about Joe Biden. Did I vote for him? Yes. Whatever. I just didn't want to hear it. So the one thing that came out was how sad. There's a picture of all three of them. It's Kamala, her husband, and Jill, and they're all holding hands. And Jill looks visibly sad. Like, she looks like she's like, oh, my baby. And then you have Kamala, who's just beaming from ear to ear. And I'm like, if you know that our country is about to go into the hands of like these like literal like rapists and pedophiles, you are not going to be beaming from ear to ear. So like, that was just, I've been thinking about that picture nonstop. And yes, I zoomed in on that photo too. I have a thing about zooming in on photos. So I'm not just looking at neck ginas all the time. So I did zoom in on that one. And I'm just like, what are
that
you
neck gina gate, girl? Don't let it get you. I'll tell you right now.
I don't know what's going to happen this weekend. I already knew that they were going to do this whole like, oh, TikTok's going to rise from the ash. But I'm like, they're going to shut it down Sunday. But Sunday's the day where they're going to have like basically a January 6th revisited,
Right.
Not too cold for that rally, but too cold for the inauguration. So I just, it doesn't add up. And I don't know how I'm going to sleep this weekend. And I really hope that we don't have an inauguration on Monday, that we're all sitting here going, oh, they really did feed us to the wolves.
Yeah.
Well, that's the biggest thing, where Ryan and I are trying to sit here, and my sister is in the same boat with you, because we're both just like, I don't know how I feel. You keep doing this topsy-turvy feeling, because you see these testimonies of this incoming cabinet, which also the cabinet's not even ready yet. So starting day one, he doesn't even have a full cabinet of people in their seats. They just did Kristi Noem today. She did a okay job. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I liked her better when she was shooting her dog. There's certain things that are there, in when we look at the people who are going to be in charge, okay, of our government, and they're rational thinking people, like shooting a dog because it's being a fun dog.
Imagine if Obama had shot a dog. Imagine if a Democrat had shot a dog.
If Tim Walz shot a dog, they would have him. They'd
have hung him up by his ankles.
They would have him.
Speaking of the people that Donald Trump is trying to see, I'd like to go through some of them.
So this is what makes it hard, though, Saadia, is that we're watching this unfold.
You have the person that he's trying to put in charge of Medicare and Medicaid, Dr. Oz, wants to replace Medicare with private medical plans, promoted unproven or studied medication and products for profit, and corruptly held over $600,000 in medical stocks while running for office. Real douchebag there.
Oh my God, this Patel picture is so foul.
You want me to zoom in on it for you? Or?
No.
She's zooming. Don't worry. She's zooming. She's doing the zooming. No one zoomed for her.
FBI Director Kash Patel spread conspiracy theories about election fraud, QAnon, immigrants, and COVID-19, vowed to come after his enemies using the FBI, calls the journalists and the media dangerous and the most powerful enemy of the U.S. has ever seen. Yeah, that sounds like a guy we should put in charge of the fucking FBI.
Sounds solid.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio supports extreme abortion restrictions, anti-immigration and reproductive health care, opposes the Iran nuclear deal, favoring sanctions and pressure that would increase or that could increase the risk of conflict in the Middle East. And then this fucker, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, opposes women and trans members of the military, is a sexual predator and Islamophobic, called Muslims an existential threat, and promotes religious extremism. And I just want to point out one thing real quick, Pete. You have a problem recruiting people as it is. You don't have enough fucking people to serve in your military right now. So maybe you should stop being so fucking picky of who you let serve our country. Douche.
I do like the joke that they're calling him a DUI.
DUI, yes.
And it's my favorite thing.
Matt Gaetz was the potential attorney general pick. That got
Venmo
nixed.
fucked him up.
Yeah. He didn't read the small print. Had sex with a 17-year-old while in Congress, backed election fraud claims, January 6th rioters, and hosted a Holocaust denier at the 2018 State of the Union. Stepped down from his nomination and his seat from Congress in disgrace, because we all know exactly why he did it. Moving on to his second choice, already his second choice, he's not even in office yet. Pam Bondi, who accepted bribe money from Trump to drop investigations, opposes gay marriage and adoption, sued the ACA targeting patients with pre-existing conditions, which, by the way, would be me. I have Lynch syndrome. It's a pre-existing condition that is genetic and it causes cancer. It's why I had to have my colon taken out at 38. So because of dumb bitches like Pam Bondi, they want to make it so that I'm no longer protected and so that the government can tell me to go fuck myself instead of actually save my life. So
and that bribe money that she accepted, let's touch on that real quick.
25K.
25,000 because she was there in Florida when Trump University was being investigated, and she was the AG. She was the AG, and everybody was like, "Look, you're supposed to be fighting for us. Can you guys look into this?" 4 days later, she dropped the case because she got 25,000 donation to her campaign, and she swept it all under the rug. That's who she is. That's what she will do in this position. She will sweep it under the rug, whatever he wants. These are all the puppets.
This one is probably one of the craziest ones. Secretary of Health is brainworm RFK Jr., who spreads debunked vaccine conspiracy theories that they cause autism and COVID-19 conspiracy theories. His anti-vaccine rhetoric led to a measles outbreak in Samoa that killed 83 people. Well done, dude. Mutilated a whale carcass with a chainsaw, and we're not even talking about what he dumped off in Central Park. Secretary of Education would be Linda McMahon, the wife of WWE or former WWE douchebag
Vince McMahon, who likes to shit literally on his interns' heads. Let that sink in.
God. Yep. Sued for negligence in WWE's Ring Boys sexual abuse scandal, plans to defund public education and Title IX, and faked her education credentials. That sounds like a real MAGA. Let's see. Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem shot her 14-month-old dog for being untrainable.
She's the opposite of John Wick.
Banned.
John Wick would never.
Anti-John Wick. Banned from 20% of South Dakota for derogatory statements about indigenous tribes. What?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Wants a patriotic school curriculum that whitewashes history. Yeah, that sounds about right. Director of National Intelligence. This is probably the most insane fucking appointment out of the whole bunch.
Your favorite.
Tulsi fucking Gabbard. Miss 101 Dalmatians. Like
Cruella DeVille? Did you just call her Cruella DeVille?
Like,
yeah.
can we just point out that before I even go down the list they have, this bitch is literally on the terrorist no-fly watch list.
Yep.
Let me repeat that for those of you listening in other countries. Tulsi Gabbard is currently on our terrorist no-fly watch list. That's a fact.
Interject and
Google
ask
me. Remember, folks, we're not trying to start a cult. We're just trying to educate here. So Google us.
That's right. Because we know you don't like to read, America. So listen to our voices, okay?
Listen to the words.
So here we go for you. This is Hooked on Phonics for America. All right. For all those other countries, this is The Simpsons, but educated. Well, The Simpsons are educated. Real quick, before you pass Tulsi, did you guys hear about the fact that when she was with Assad, meeting with that terrorist, that she actually stumbled upon an American that was held captive and didn't report it to anybody? Did you guys hear about this breaking news that just came out just a couple days ago?
No.
The
There's
American,
just so much news.
There's so much news. The American that was actually being held captive, that went missing. He was a journalist. She apparently, when she was on that visit, stumbled upon him and then did not mention it to anyone. Look it up. Look it up.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to add it to my thing to do tonight. Ugh.
It gets even worse. It
She's
gets
like,
worse.
The list, her 8 o'clock, 8:05 after list just got longer.
This is Saadia After Dark, ladies and gentlemen. Like, just wait. And if you get her wet, then you got the gremlins. Okay, just watch out.
That's right.
Oh man, I'm glad that's where that comment went, because I was like,
Right.
I'm not the only one that was like, where are you going with that? Like, but just to finish the list that they had, I know, right? Foreign policy stances are sympathetic to authoritarian regimes, frequently endorses Russia, Syria, and China's leadership decisions, and has been called a Russian asset. I'm the one that's called her a Russian asset. And then finally, we have Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Space Karen.
Yeah, Space Karen. I like that one. Elon Musk, douchebag extraordinaire, billionaire status, and companies create massive conflicts of interest with his government role. Laid off over 50% of Twitter's staff, which ended most of its content moderation, and frequently spreads dangerous conspiracy theories, included the Paul Pelosi attack and the pizza shop sex trafficking ring. And then we have Vivek Ramaswamy, who literally had Ann Coulter look him dead in his face and say, I love your policies and you're a pretty smart guy, but I wouldn't vote for you because you're not white. Plans to fire 75% of federal employees, calls climate change a hoax and opposes climate policies, and wants to gut the FDA, end birthright citizenship, and use military force at the border. So, yay.
Vivek, who thinks that Americans are dumb whites, okay? Poor dumb whites are not smart enough to do the job here in America.
Well,
HB1.
He wasn't smart enough to keep his mouth shut, so he got kicked to being governor instead of Doge Man. So I thought that was hilarious. I was like, well, back to your spot.
Yep.
Far away from the inner circle.
Some people don't know when to shut the fuck up.
He should have done that when they had him driving around, when he was driving around during the campaign. I was not feeling well that day, and I remember just being like, I can't believe him. I thought it was a fever dream. Donald Trump, I guess, was it was like a dump truck, like a trash truck, and Vivek was in the back with like a yellow like vest on, hanging out in the back. And I was like, do you not see what they're doing to you purposefully here? You are such a twat. Like, it just...
Ann Coulter told us about him, and that's all we need to know.
That's true. That's true.
The moment that you watched him sit there and just listen to her and just smile about it, it's like, That's who you are.
Like, you just laughed at her saying, you know, you're a piece of shit. I wouldn't vote for you because of the color of your skin. Like,
I like you. I think you're smart, but I would never vote for you because you're brown.
Like, any self-respecting person would have been like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm done. I'm not going to have you on my platform anymore, and walked out.
Yeah.
But again, I think that's why I'll never be famous or rich, because that's what I would have done.
It's okay. It's not on my goal list either.
Not on my either. Fuck it.
My integrity.
Let's see. I'm going to get rid of that because you guys already talked about the 19th.
Nope, we didn't talk about that one.
The ERA.
Well, I already got rid of it.
Nope.
No, not the ERA, the other one.
It's the midnight meeting on the inauguration.
The one that they're having secretly that they have on the schedule that
you're
nobody
gonna
knows
make
about.
me put it back up, aren't you?
Saadia, fist bump, baby, fist bump. What? Yes.
Who works on inauguration day? Like,
at midnight
working.
when Saadia and I are going crazy. Okay.
We are gonna be so disappointed on Monday.
And Angry Bunny, it's like Flashdance. All right, just dump the water on us. Okay, here it is.
We're gonna be live on Monday too, so it's gonna be good.
Monday he and I are gonna be some of the most disappointed people on the planet. But I'm
gonna be
already
drunk. I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm just gonna have a bottle of wine. Just let's go.
I'm gonna send you some of my edibles. They're 50 milligrams each.
Fuck no, you're not gonna have me looking just.
You wouldn't be moving.
Oh, thanks.
So go ahead, explain this.
Go ahead, Saadia.
Oh, it's your show. Go for it.
Oh, all right.
I was like, it's your show, dude.
Right. So Mr. Turner, who was just fired this past week, apparently will not be at this meeting, but this meeting is taking place on the inauguration, and it's going to be taking place at midnight, 12 a.m. They are showing up to have this closed door meeting. And here's the question that you have to ask. What is going on with the intelligence that they have to meet at 12 a.m., not 12 p.m., not noon, not the business hours of 9 to 5.
And by the way, just to make clear, that would be before Trump was sworn in.
But what if it's like a placeholder?
Like,
but
what?
even so, like, you know, like sometimes I make a placeholder, like, oh, I have a meeting at, like, you know, on this day, and it'll do it at 12 a.m. or whatever. Even so, like, on inauguration day, you are having a meeting. It's just, I guess that's still, you know what? Okay, tinfoil hat again. I don't know where I read this or when I read this, but apparently Trump was trying to get sworn in at midnight on the 20th. Like, why do you think
Steve Bannon was saying something about he should be sworn in the day before? Yeah. There's conversations. You're not wrong. This is stuff that was thrown out there that he should be inaugurated before. And this is also in bed with what Marjorie Taylor Greene said, because they said, let's see if we can get him over the hump. And she said this after the tabulation of all the votes. And people were like, why would she say that? And she's a part of the intelligence, isn't she?
What Marjorie Taylor Greene? Intelligence?
Well, I didn't say she was intelligent. What is she?
I don't put them in the same sentence. Committee? I'm sorry.
Correct. 2+2, Jello. That's Marjorie Taylor Greene. Absolutely 100%. No, but she whatever her raw statement was, it's one of those things where it makes you double take, just like with Jake. It's like, why would you say that? Why would you say that? And just like Kamala, who just signed the desk, and she said, you know, I'll be working throughout the whole weekend. And people said, what do you got going on? She goes, well, I'm going to work throughout the whole weekend, and then we'll see what happens on Monday.
Yeah.
That's what she said. Go look it up, guys. Calm as can be. And you're like
super calm.
Yeah.
I would be straight panicking and like I said, I just have this shitty feeling inside that our government's just going to let us down. Like, we see these patterns. Are y'all doing anything about it, or are you just worried about what the rest of the world is going to think?
But why are you firing your own captain, your own teammate? He was the head of the Republican side of that committee, and they were like,
because he wouldn't do what they wanted him to do.
Mar-a-Lago has concerns.
That's exactly what it is. Even though he was a Trump supporter, he's known for doing his job right.
He's known for being an American.
Yep.
It is country over party, and he was the last bit of defense line that is going to clash against MAGA. But here's my point. You get rid of that person, it doesn't matter. Because yes, you're going to put somebody in there. Well, now there's nobody there.
How many of you watching are going to go down a rabbit hole after this show because of Saadia and Ian? I'm not taking the blame for this.
Saadia, you're coming on for weekly conspiracies, girl. This is what we're doing.
But I don't.
This week. I'm going to ask your husband, can we borrow you every Friday for at least 30 minutes?
You see, so the problem was, so I started bringing this up to some people that I felt kind of safe around early, and they were like, "Oh, you heard about this?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then they're like, "Let me tell you about 9/11." I'm like, "Oh God!" Like, I do have my limits of like that's literal bad shitness. This is the rabbit holes. Anybody that you send people down and they read this stuff, they're like, "Oh, this is black and white on the government website," you know?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like I said,
No,
that's why I don't feel horrible talking about it, because we're not putting up the post, something like that. Like, we're literally pulling up documents, and, however you read and interpret them, it's there. It's there in black and white. You just can't deny it. And the dots are there to connect.
And Ryan, you dealt with this. You literally tried to, without naming names, you tried to talk to somebody about, hey, I want to talk about some of these things and have this conversation. And this person was like, "You're a conspiracy theorist," and you're like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
He went pedal to the metal. He's like, "Fuck you. This is documented. Like, what are you talking about?"
He's a friend of mine, but what he said to me too, that the one thing he actually said to me that pissed me off, that got me spun up, was he's like, "Why is it you always want to take your ball and go home?" And I said, "You know what?" I go, "Let me fucking tell you why I always want to take my ball and go home." I was like, "Because for 4 or 5 years, I've been trying to do this." I was like, "I've tried working for the DNC for free. I've tried working for my local Democratic Party for free. I've tried running for office. I've tried everything." And it's like, how many times do you want us to get kicked in the dick, kicked in the stomach, for us to finally say, "I'm done. I'm done"? Like, I'm not going to go vote for Donald Trump. I'm not miraculously going to, turn around and go vote for a rapist and a felon and an insurrectionist. That's not going to happen. But what I will do is build up my platform and start really trying to figure out, how do we revamp how we vote? How do we start getting serious about ranked choice voting? How do we really start getting into what other countries like Denmark and Greenland and other countries do, and have more than 1 or 2 viable political parties, and have something like 5 or 8, so that anybody at any time could win an election? Because this whole either or, like we keep pointing out, I left the Democratic Party a year and a half ago. I don't think Saadia's ever been in the Democratic Party. Oh yeah, I left. I did a whole video about it. Like, they literally helped the stalker that my kids have protection orders on.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's how big of pieces of shit they are. And the other thing I noticed too was, the minute that some of them found out that I was married to a black woman, I found out real quick that people that don't like race mixing, that's not just for Republicans.
Saadia, just to give you some context, I'm what inspired Ryan to have mixed babies. He met me in high school, and he was like, "I love
the curly hair,
your energy."
It was the curly hair.
I had an afro back then. Clearly the Jordan look is way more in. You know what I mean? So the phantom hair is there. It's there. The follicles is still somewhere there
for sure.
I always laughed at Ryan because he got along with me and like the 5 other black kids at our school, and clearly I passed.
I can still name them all.
They just didn't realize that I was the Malcolm X out of the group. Like, I was the one that was actually more pro-black than like my brother.
Yes.
Oh, I was that one. I was very militant. My father was a Black Panther.
Oh,
and so he was very adamant about black militant.
Yes.
Like, he was very serious. And then it's funny. And then he has this, of course, this German wife, my mom. And it cracked me up because my brother's darker than me. He was on the show. And then there's a lot of kids. My father had 14 kids. So he has an army of us.
Sure.
And we're all different shapes and sizes. A lot of us bald, which is amazing. It works on a majority of us. And nobody got abandoned and left on, with their head down, all as infants. So
I have to wear my hat. Fuck you guys.
What? My husband's bald too.
Yeah, but your husband pulls it off better than me. Like my hat, this is the biggest fitted hat you can get. My head is fucking huge. Oh, so it's just
too.
You couldn't give me some hair.
That's okay. My head's big too, and I kept blaming it on my hair, and then we realized it's just my head, and my head is really small. So
and then I realized it was just my head.
Sorry, don't show up to this show bald. We cannot do that. We're gonna look like a clan meeting, okay? Don't do it. I
did have alopecia for the first 20 years of my life, so
did you really?
Yeah, like I still have a bald spot here. But
I did not know that.
Yeah. They were gonna send me to a psych ward because they thought I was pulling out my own hair back in the 90s. I didn't even have eyelashes, eyebrows, nothing. Yeah. So when people make fun of me, they're like, "Oh, look at the bushy eyebrow." I'm like, I am thankful.
Thank God I have them. Yeah.
Take them. I'll take them. You ain't slapping no Chris Rock. I got you, girl. I see you. So with that, we love Ryan's family, and so the moment that we found out that he was going through that situation, him and I linked up because I've been trying to do music for Ryan for years. I've been giving him samples of music, and so that was one of the biggest things. And then when we talked about doing this show, it spread like wildfire, and we were just like, we got to do this. We got to lock in, and we've never looked back. We really haven't, and we're we are looking forward to what's in front of us. But it's like, this is a part of that where we have to build community. And we all feel like we don't have a party anymore. And depending on how things play out in the next 4 days, I think a lot of people are going to start realizing, because the fact that the Supreme Court literally just struck down TikTok in the front of conservatives liked it and liberals liked it.
Not Tom Cotton.
Oh, he is against it?
He was the one fucker who stood up against the 270-day, the one guy. And TikTok has been just raking him over the coals. They've been calling him. That's the only person that stood up against Rohana's bill that he put out to extend for 270. Everybody else
did it have to be
unanimous?
Did it really?
Yes, it was a unanimous consent bill. And everybody's finding out that Tom Cotton ran unopposed. And I'm like, I've been fucking telling you people, but okay, now you care because it's TikTok. But okay, hopefully.
I mean, this is pumping your fist and running in the hallways, Tom Cotton, that we're talking about here.
Yeah, Tom
That's
Cotton.
January 6th. The coward.
The coward, the guy from Oklahoma,
Kentucky
or whatever, Oklahoma, I believe. Tom
is it
Cotton's
Oklahoma?
Damn it, man! I just put this.
I know. I'm sorry. We like to be factual here. We like to be factual.
Yes, it was.
Is it Oklahoma?
I'll find out for you.
I thought the one who did the border.
Oh, you're talking about Holly.
Holly is pumping you up.
Yeah. So this guy is from Arkansas. Is it Arkansas? Arkansas.
Damn, none of us were right.
Okay. Thank you for.
We just know he's a douche. We don't know where he's from.
Okay, so from Arkansas, and yes, I was talking about Holly. Holly's the bitch. Okay, so Tom Cotton is a one vote that struck it down, which would have gave it 270 more days to make a better decision.
Correct.
But as we know, blackout on the 19th, which on top of that may stop conservatives from mobilizing if anything does happen.
Is that what? So that's what I'm thinking. Like, are you doing it out of a safety precaution? Are you like? I know it's going to come back on the 20th. Like I make money on that app.
Even more nefarious, they don't want the footage.
But but it's going to be all over X.
Yeah.
Instagram.
Well, that would be a one-sided biased conversation on X.
Yeah, it'll all be celebration.
Throttling on that one.
Yeah.
Correct. So. I mean, they don't even have to turn it off. Like, that's the thing, because Biden said he's not going to be enforcing it.
Yeah, he's not going to enforce it.
I've just been seeing the TikTok employees out of San Francisco are like, we're shutting down midnight on Saturday.
I don't think they're playing around. I think TikTok's just, like you said, Saadia, I think they're just going to shut it down.
Is it expected that it's a shutdown, as in you can't access it through the App Store, or they're going to shut
the servers down?
Shut the servers down. You can't change your VPN if your information is housed here, whatever, you will access a black screen.
Yep.
And so the only way to get that back up is if you turn the servers back on, which I feel like they'll do right after he's inaugurated.
Yep. Oh, I came in, I made a great deal that Biden couldn't make. Wow.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first. We're gonna write the speech for him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if something happens, then what happens to TikTok? Like, that's the thing.
Well, why would JD Vance say that he's not going to go to the inauguration? And also, is there talk that MTG is not going either? Is Marge not going to?
Marjorie wouldn't miss it.
She was going to walk through the snow to go, like, get this
There was talk that she said that she may not be able to make it.
Really? I know definitely that he was joking about it.
Look it up. We talk facts on this show. Look it up.
We do. I'm looking right now.
JD Vance for sure. I know JD Vance for sure said it, because he was like, it's
for the national football game, for the national title.
Yeah,
I was like,
but that was his joke. That's his sense of humor.
And I literally, I responded to that tweet and I said, "You're right, bro. You probably shouldn't go. He tried to hang his last VP."
Wow.
Just saying.
That's the truth. That's the truth. I don't know what's going to happen.
Can we talk about Karen Pence at Jimmy Carter's funeral?
Oh, she was a G. She was a G.
Mother was mothering that day. I was
Mother was mothering. Yes.
He was just sitting there like, I will not.
Her and Kamala's energy that day, I was all for it.
Kamala turned around, she rolled her eyes. She was like, I'm
You know whose energy I love the most was Michelle's. She is absent as a motherfucker, boy. She said, you ain't have me sitting next to that.
Did you see what they're and now
Please.
The right's trying to run around and be like, oh, they're getting a divorce. That's why she's not there. I'm like, no, she's not there because she's done.
Yeah.
Like, this woman is done.
He wished her happy birthday today.
Yeah, they're fine. She's just done. She doesn't want to play the poster anymore. She doesn't want to play the game. You know, she never wanted to. And I think she stuck around for us, for everybody, for the country. And now that she sees that all that hard work, all the campaigning, everything just was for nothing. Yeah, I don't fucking blame her. I'd be sitting in Hawaii with my feet kicked up too.
I have a feeling she's like, you guys handle this. I'm not a part of this.
Yeah, that's I'm not about this energy.
And I have my own conspiracy, my tin hat where she's like, I don't need to be there for this. Like, lock his ass up, get what you got to get, and then come meet me for mojitos later. Like, what the fuck are we doing this for? You know?
Man, I hope your tin hat is better than mine. Mine's falling apart. Mine doesn't fit no more. My big old head just like pull that shit out of shape.
We're gonna need some new ones. Well, real quick before we wrap up the show, I wanted to talk about a few more things. The couple of things happening that I wanted to pay a little attention to is right now what's coming out is that Trump is planning to begin large-scale deportations on Tuesday in Chicago. They're going to have about 200 officers being sent out to carry out the operation. So all I really want to say about that is if you voted for Trump and somebody in your family gets picked up by one of these officers and gets deported, go fuck yourself. Like, I don't want to hear from you. Just shut up because you voted for this. You voted for these people to go knocking on your door looking for your loved ones. And you're going to sit there and go, oh, I didn't know they'd come after my loved ones. They're going to come after everybody. And if you didn't notice, they're going to try to find ways to get rid of Americans that they don't like. They're going to try to get rid of people that went through the process and they're literally citizens. Mark my fucking words. They're going to try.
Did you see Bakersfield during the California fires? They were literally, ICE was going to gather up people.
Look how fucked up is that?
And we're talking about a number of the Latin community was out there donating cooked food for all of the people.
Let's round them up and send them out. Fuck you.
They were trying to help
round
out
up the Republicans and get them the fuck out of here. Round up the people that just voted for the fucking rapist, the fraud, the accused pedophile, the dude, the insurrectionist that refused to or tried to impede the peaceful transfer of power the first time. The guy that said that he was going to balance our budget, but instead added $8.1 fucking trillion, which, by the way, was half of what Biden just added in his 4 years with the massive inflation that we're currently following. The dude literally didn't deliver on fucking anything his first 4 years. He stole money from us by charging the Secret Service massive amounts of money for his fucking hotel rooms. Like, if you believe this guy, the massive business fraud that had to pay $25 million for his Trump University fraud, that had to pay $30,000 for his $3.1 million fraud in 1992 for his casino, and those are just the two that I remember off the top of my fucking head. If you think that guy is going to be a good steward of our fucking tax dollars, I've got a very large fucking bridge in San Francisco I'd like to sell you. And it also has a prison about 500 yards away from it.
Ryan rant!
He went on it. He was on it. I was like, I'm not letting
Saadia, this is a Ryan rant, and this is what we're known for.
I didn't think we were going to get one today.
I knew we were going to get one. My tin hat was telling me it was on the way.
I needed that. I feel better now.
The one thing I'll add to that, you said alleged pedophile. I mean, New York's got his DNA now.
Do they have it?
I was going to ask you. Do
they have his DNA? Did he finally give it to him?
DNA?
Because so in New York,
I know they have to. I know they have to. I live in New York, but did he do it?
I think you have, as a convicted, if you have been convicted, you by law, there is a law that says because
I'm sure that.
Yeah,
we need to look into that because I have a feeling he didn't. I need to
know, did he actually do it? Because I understand what the law is, but we see how that's been working out for us.
if the law mattered to him, he'd be in jail right now. He wouldn't have gotten.
I think that was New York. Like everybody was like, oh, he's gonna let him walk. And I was like, but there's a reason that they're doing this. And it's not just for shits and giggles, because New York has been after his ass for years. So then that's when somebody brought up, do you think it's because of his DNA? And I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? And they're like, what if that's all that they're looking for other things, and they don't have his DNA on file? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? And then that's when I found out that
they have Epstein's plane, so yeah.
Yeah, yeah. If they have
the one he rented, for the campaign, or
you can think about that now, Saadia. Enjoy your night.
No, I'm not sleeping until Tuesday.
That vagina neck was hard at work.
Sick. That's so sick.
Speaking of hard at work, let's talk about the Senate, who are busy right now trying to advance a migrant detention bill that could potentially be Trump's first law that he signs.
What does this have to do with lowering groceries and inflation?
As I said, once again, the fucking I told you so tour. I told you this was going to be it. The Republicans didn't vote for lower prices on goods. They know that wasn't going to happen. They didn't vote for lower inflation because they know that wasn't going to fucking happen. They know that the inflation in all the other countries has been high too. And our inflation recovery and our economic recovery has actually been better and on par with countries that are comparable to ours. But these people don't fucking care about facts. They're still going to fucking let Donald Trump come in here. And it just boggles my fucking mind. I don't get it. They're going to run everybody out of here. Anybody that they don't think should be here, that they don't think is American enough, that they think is too brown, too black, too fucking yellow, they're going to get rid of them. And all these dumb fucks, if you look at the exit polls, every single one of you, the indigenous vote here in Arizona was like, they voted for Trump. Are you fucking stupid? This dude was literally giving your land away the first time. And you're like, yeah, let's vote for him. Even though the Democrats put Deb Haaland in as the Secretary of the fucking Interior. But yeah, apparently, fuck that. Democrats don't actually give a shit about indigenous people. That seems to be what they think. I don't fucking get it. You look at Biden's economy. You look at the laws they've passed. Like, again, and then you want to talk about the border, the open border. How about fucking Kamala Harris actually went down there and said, don't come. We can't accept you right now. Don't come. But you know who went on social media and posted videos every fucking day saying the border's wide open? The border's wide open. It was Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, Matt Gaetz, Mike Johnson. Every single fucking MAGA Trump Republican were the ones saying that our border's wide the fuck open. So when you look at the graphs and you see the large increase, then go look at all the videos and social media posts from around that same time. And you go see who was pushing the bullshit border. And by the way, for all of you who don't already fucking know, I live an hour and 20 minutes from the southern border. So everybody in fucking Arkansas and Idaho and South Dakota and Minnesota, shut the fuck up. Like, I live here. I fucking live here.
Is that
Ryan, I'm liking these dose, baby.
Jesus.
Yes.
Like, it's crazy.
We got two tonight. That's some good luck. He just summoned
good mojo.
Hey, maybe that's what we need.
This is what it is, man. This is
what it is. So the last two things I wanted to talk about, and I'm going to save the best for last. This one, while I loved seeing this today, Biden says that the Equal Rights Amendment is ratified, kicking off an expected legal battle as he pushes through final executive actions. I love this. But here's my issue, and I want you to tell me what you think after I say this. Where the fuck were you for the last 3 years and 11 months?
Ramming it through at the last second. Yep.
Like, dude, and it's not going to go through. You're not giving anybody any time to actually make it so it sticks. You're just being out on the way out the door. Well, if it's ratified, it should happen. No, you should have fucking made it happen 3 years ago. And then maybe you wouldn't have fucking lost this election.
Saadia, you as our guest, go for it.
No, I agree with you completely. I hate this push for everything right at the last second. And I said, I've been saying this the same thing. Like, that's why they call you Sleepy Joe, because you have been sleeping at the wheel on something really important. Joe. Yeah, that is those things that are really important, that needed the time, that needed your attention for the last 3 years. Like, that's where we needed you, not at the last fucking second. So you can punt it off to a group of morons. And then we know that like, he's already said that it's an expected long legal battle. So,
yeah.
I'm
I'm going to be the one that's going to go against you guys. And
Sure.
that's why I wanted to hear what you both had to say. He was busy getting this country back together.
Sure.
First and foremost. So why not 3 years ago? He was hard at work. Sleepy Joe was definitely making things happen. And you guys got to also add on top of that, wars kicked in and all the other bullshit that then he was needed on a grander scale. So he wasn't really taking on things like this. I think it's actually a brilliant play because, as you guys just said, it's going to be a long legal battle. He just put that shit on Trump to now have to deal with. And this is going to be Trump's government with all the people that's now going to become a distraction for them.
They've been shooting down the ERA for 30 years. They're just going to continue to do it.
But they're going to now be focused on trying to now attack that, which is taking them away from other things.
You mark my words, it'll take them a whole whopping day to make this go away.
Because it's all Republican.
Supreme Court's just going to rush it right through. It's probably going to happen.
It's Republican led, which is why I don't have faith in it. Like we've got Republicans leading everything, and that's the heartbreak for me, is that we could have had an opportunity earlier, but now snowball's chance, and that's what hurts.
Yeah,
it's a hard sell for me to see how they're even going to play this out. You're going to touch on your girl next to Brian.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm not letting that go.
I know you're not. I'm looking forward to it. It's one of those things where I'm interested. I mean, look, I don't want him to kick anything down the can, and I do call him Sleepy Joe all the time. That's why I'm so glad that you called him that.
I've called him that 4 times in my life. I could care less. But yeah,
I've been calling him Sleepy Joe since day one. I said the day he won, I made a post where he was wide awake screaming, and I said, "Bitch, I did this in my sleep." That was my reaction to him winning the election. And I said, this is where I belong, talking that shit on politics. Because I was like, yeah, you called me Sleepy Joe, bitch. I became president in my sleep. Let's go. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot that really fell behind. And we could even say the same thing about women's rights, abortion.
Yeah. Keep talking.
That should have been something that should have been ratified from day one. Especially when the Democrats had the House and they had the Senate when they first took over. They had everything. There should have been a lot of things that have been kicked in to place, but clearly that they dropped the ball on that. So
yeah, and we live it. I've been living it here in Texas. I mean, I've got friends that have had to fly out of state to get the health care that they need. I am terrified if I get pregnant. Like I don't get all my OBGYNs. I've had 2 leave this state. They don't practice here anymore. It's like, it's not good. And that's the kind of stuff, like, we get to sample what the rest of the universe is going to go through, the rest of the American universe. And it's not fun.
I have an issue with a lot of women in Michigan because they've been protected by their governor, Governor Whitmer. And they don't understand the ramifications of what you're going through because of the shielding that their state gave them.
Sure.
They can't fathom a national ban. Because they're like, well, our state's taking care of us. Like if they want to, and it's the simplest, stupid comment I've ever heard in my life. Well, then why don't they just move to Michigan? I go, because people don't just uproot their entire life because of one thing.
Just move, man.
Or something that is a personal fucking choice. That's all it is.
And just so you know, Saadia, we, the state of Arizona put the abortion, Jesus, my brain is starting to fritz on me. But we put abortion care in our state constitution. So if you ever need to, flee, you have a place.
Ryan has a couch.
Thank you.
No, she'd get the bed. I'd get the floor. Especially if you're pregnant. Shit. I watched my wife go through that shit twice.
Yeah, we wouldn't be rushing for an abortion, but if healthcare is needed, it's tough.
But that's the problem. It's not even about abortion. They're just going to start. They're going to start fucking around with healthcare. Period. Yeah. But the biggest problem is that, like you just said, stop looking at we should stop looking at it as just abortion care. Like Saadia just pointed out, and I'm really glad you just said that, is that she's had OBGYNs leave her state that don't practice there anymore. So now she can't get any kind of care because they've left. So all the good doctors are leaving, and all that's going to be left are Republican Trump supporting people and those who barely made it out of school.
People you don't want touching your vagina, correct?
Yeah, exactly. The people you don't want, you're doing your healthcare at all. So, that's the bigger picture here. Just like the TikTok thing, the government seems to always fail to see the bigger picture of how about all the thousands of dollars you're taking out of people's pockets and that they put into our economy. Like that question in and of itself should have single-handedly made them go, this is a bad idea.
Yeah.
But it didn't.
Yeah.
So I went to go grab this. If you're into books, this is a good book. It's called The Political Brain. And it talks about the role emotion had played in elections. And it dives into a couple of things. Can
you say the name for the
oh, yes. Thank you. It's called The Political Brain by Drew Weston, and it's spelled Westten. It is a really good book, and it explains the MAGA party. Honestly, it explains how emotions won the 2000 election between Bush and Al Gore, and it delves into how facts do not play into the election plan that they used. So if you really kind of, it's not directly about MAGA, but it really does give you really good insight of what is the difference between people like us who talk about documents off of the Justice Department and policies, and and we use sources versus people who just go to OWN and Fox News and Trump's social media to get that red meat of emotion that they want to have that reaction. So good book.
Thank you.
Nice.
And then, so I got two things. First, we're going to talk about Nancy Mace and her crackhead ass going after Jasmine Crockett. So if you haven't seen it yet, I love Saadia's just like, yeah, no, that's pretty accurate.
That's about right. Yeah. She didn't even flinch. She didn't flinch.
She's like,
yeah.
That was accurate.
She has dealt with a couple of Nancy Maces. I could tell this past week.
Bro.
Today.
Yeah. So I've been going at her for days, and I got her to respond a week ago. It was beautiful. She hasn't responded since. But this was the interaction between Nancy Mace and Jasmine Crockett that just made my fucking day.
Somebody's campaign coffers really are struggling right now. So she gonna keep saying trans, so that people will feel threatened. And child, listen, I want y'all to tell me whether or not.
Do not call me a child. I am no child.
I want to find out
I am a grown
which
woman.
of those
emails
actually have
ceilings.
Sherman, I am reclaiming my time.
You will not do that. I am not a child.
I am reclaiming my time.
If you want to take it outside,
Mr. Chairman, the committee is not in order.
Order.
Nancy Mace does not have any black friends. Okay.
No.
I don't think she has any friends.
She heard child. No, she has a girlfriend. There's kitty on her breath. The thing that is interesting about her is that she took child as a diss.
Yeah.
And that's the least of that compliment that she was making. If anything, she could stand up for herself about how she wants to go after the trans. But here's the key factor that I love, the hypocrisy that's really there. Chef's kiss. Those damn earrings that she's wearing show you how Christ-like she is not.
Yes.
Them big ass look like it's like Prince on her ear, okay? Them some big ass crosses. Like, God damn. And then this is how you act? You want to take it outside? Get it, come on.
Yeah, Cash Me Outside. That's what it reminded me of. That little, what was her? She was a child back then, but I was like, you are 46.
Whatever her name is. Yeah,
that's literally what I said in my video, Saadia. I go, I said Nancy Mace went all Cash Me Outside on Jasmine Crockett. What is this woman gonna do?
Yo,
what? There's nothing. Badly. There's nothing. Yeah. There's nothing in this picture that a safety pin can't neutralize. Like,
no, that knee is sharp as fuck. Like that'll get you in something.
I mean,
she is failing her.
She really needs to invest in some knee pads before she.
Please
goes
don't
in
zoom
there.
in. God damn. God damn.
Zooming in.
You know what though? What's funny is like that's how pasty white Trump is without all that orange. Like that's how bad it is.
I don't make fun of women. Like that's another thing. I don't like disparaging women, but she's
evil.
She takes everything about womanhood and she just makes it ugly. And I cannot stand people like her.
Like, I'm sorry, but that boob job just looks so bad on that.
I didn't even know she had one until today.
No? Oh, yeah.
I don't.
Well, I'm
look at
trying to
her,
find.
like,
I'm
I
trying to
avoid it.
find the. I'll find it for us. I'll take this off and let. So keep talking about Nancy Mace. I'm gonna find.
Can we pass?
No.
Just
No.
talk about this person. And the reason why I make the jokes because I love my LGBTQ family. When I say she has kitty on the breath, it's the fact that she is so against
Correct.
publicly about a lifestyle that we know she does privately.
Yes.
And this is the part that I hate when people are closeted in any way, shape, or form, and they want to attack the self-hate that exists there. And maybe she's doing it because she wants to be relevant, like
Correct.
Crockett said. And I love the hair flip as Crockett knew that she was about to go ahead and turn the knife. I love it. It's a great moment. Ryan and I will never have that moment ever again in our lives. So, Saadia, we lean on you to have it, okay? we lean on you. I'm going to call you just a Zoom and say, do it. And you're going to know
the hair
what I'm
flip.
saying.
There you go.
Boom. I'm not even going to say do the hair flip. I'm just going to say do it. And you know
No.
exactly what I mean.
Yeah, Jasmine Crockett would lay her bitch ass out in like the first nanosecond of her like approaching her. She is from Texas and
She
she is
already did verbally.
verbally.
She knew what she was. She knows the temperament of this individual.
Yeah.
And she knows that she's going to pop off and the calm demeanor that she has. And here's yep, here we go. People's resume.
Was that Nancy Mace?
Yeah.
Before the boob job, by the way. Before the boob job.
With her lesbian Trump supporter.
I have never seen that before in my life.
Oh.
You should follow me on social media.
You should watch the show. You should watch the show.
No. You guys must be on X. I have stopped. Ever since Elon bought it, I was like, fuck that shit. I refuse to be a part of that.
I'm waiting for Blue Sky to let me post more than 1 minute videos on there.
We have addressed this topic numerous times because of the fact of this alone that you're seeing that I wouldn't even be surprised if she has a trans whoever in her life.
Oh,
right?
she does. Oh, that was shocking for me. I have never seen that before.
Do you know what I mean? Like you know, because it's just like Lindsey Graham. You know, there's something there. You know, Lady Graham does certain things, and you go, okay, I definitely see a ball in your mouth. Definitely after hours.
I don't want to see that image.
But you know what the crazy thing was? People, her supporters at the time said that's not her. I literally had to go and do, Inspector Gadget and literally do screenshots and say, do you see the ring she was wearing in that video? I was like, it's the class ring from the Citadel. I was like, there she is wearing it. I was like, and she was wearing it in that fucking video. So yes, it is Nancy Mace.
And Jolly One is saying like, oh no, she had a girlfriend. It's a known fact in South Carolina. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not a bigot, so I could care less if she had kitty.
I don't give a shit. I mean, I think anybody that watches this show knows all three of us don't care about her doing that. It's the hypocrisy. It's the hate that she shows towards not just the trans community, but the LGBT community in general. And it's
That's
like,
correct.
oh, but when you're doing drinking games, totally cool.
That's okay then, yeah.
And she was all for it. Like she wanted, even the other girl, I was like, I don't know if she wanted that.
Yeah, I don't think they wanted that. They did not look, but they had a Trump shirt on, so I don't know what was going on. There was a lot. There was a lot
in 14 seconds.
And that was my first time watching it. That's not a video I'm just going to be zooming in on.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You got to take a shower after this show. I'm so sorry. This show is so nasty. I am so sorry. Ooh.
I should have warned you.
Yes.
That's okay.
So
we were
before
go grocery shopping after this, now I'm gonna be like, I just need a minute to
I just need a bath.
Bring
me candles and some wine, damn it. So finally, I'm going to talk about Lindy Lee. This bitch right here is about to get these hands, and she deserves every fucking bit of it. What?
We were just talking about women's rights, and you're just talking about bitch and getting these hands.
Fuck this bitch. All right. Listen. Trump supporters are different from normal people. I do not look at men and women who support Trump as men and women. I look at them as pieces of shit.
Okay.
And I look at them as literally the lowest among us. So I honestly don't feel like they deserve kindness from me. I don't think that they deserve to be treated like humans. I think that they deserve to be treated like fucking pond scum. So that's what I'm going to do for the next 4 years. And with that in mind, another thing that I really fucking hate are traitors. So Lindy Lee liked to make money off of Democrats and liberals for several years. And she actually got a couple of invitations to the White House under the Biden administration, if I remember correctly. But
No, multiple. And she was invited to multiple events.
Yep. So now she's thanking Elon Musk.
Event, Saadia? Did you see her at some
sorry?
DNC?
Oh, I'll tell you guys. I'll let Ryan finish.
Okay.
So she posted this yesterday or the day before. And again, go Google this. It was on Mail Online. Thank you, Elon Musk, for sharing my story with your 213 million followers. Hope to meet you at President Trump's inauguration. And then under that, she says, I'm done with woke insanity and open borders, done with setting 2.5 billion on fire without any accountability, done with cancel culture. I was never paid to raise money for Biden and Harris. I'm not a staffer or consultant, but keep lying about me if it makes you feel better, libs. Now, here's the thing, Lindy Lee. You claim that you don't make money off of them, but you're a fucking liar. You did make money off of them. And all your opportunity costs that you got from doing what you did made you money. And now that you see that that money was about to dry up, you literally turned right around in a matter of months and completely changed your morals, your principles, and everything. And I actually have proof of it. You don't believe me?
Let's be clear what anti-woke means. It's anti-Black. And I think people are very reluctant to say it, but I don't mince any words. And that's the truth. That's their way of, sounding the dog whistle without being extremely explicit. And let's also not ignore the fact that CPAC has become a gathering of sexual predators. Let's be honest. Matt Schlapp, the chairman, was sued for $10 million for allegedly groping a male staffer on the Herschel Walker campaign. And then he shares a stage with Jim Jordan, who allegedly covered up sex crimes at Ohio State. And then he was followed by Matt Gaetz, who was just investigated by the FBI for teen sex trafficking. And then he was followed by Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's an adulteress. And then Lauren Boebert, who brags about carrying a Glock around Congress and just this week threatened to blow up metal detectors. And then finally, tonight, we have Trump, a serial rapist. And so this is the party that claims to be the party of Christian family values. And I had nothing to say or do but laugh at that.
So what changed?
So
give us the tea.
Oh, I got the tea. And I'm not a petty person. I've never had a person call me petty in my life. All right. And we were in there were all these Twitter groups back in the day. I don't know if you were part of them, but basically, groups of people, like including me and Lindy Lee and like a few other people. And I was in a couple of groups.
You're fine.
Oh, no.
Nope, you're fine.
We zoomed in.
We
zoomed in. No, don't worry. We just zoomed in. Don't worry about it. Continue.
Got you with the zoom.
Lindy's here. That's not just a rat jumping ship. Oh, I don't. Can I look at y'all?
Rat jumping ship.
Ryan's like, it's all you. We ain't going to have us in the background.
No.
Hey,
that's why I
your
can't
piece,
do,
girl.
That's why I can't do my podcast.
She is, but she's married, so watch it.
So we were used to be in all these little Twitter groups, right? And I was not super active in them. Ryan knows that I was just kind of like, just trying to be supportive of everybody. And one time, this was middle of the night. This was what not triggered me, but something was wrong. This was just less than 2 years ago. I was trying to do something. I was shopping for something. And every time the menu was messed up. So every time I went to the top, I'd have to click it to go back. But they were chatting in the Twitter group. So and it's 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, just let me shop in peace. Like, just go away, right? And so I click on it, and it bounced me to that Twitter group. And Lindy's typing something. I went back to my shopping. Lindy types again, and I accidentally clicked on it. I was like, oh my God. So I'm about to mute it, and then she goes, Saadia, are you taking screenshots of this conversation? You're reading everything, but you're being really quiet, ma'am. So I went back over there, and I was like, no, I'm shopping, and she's like, are you sure? So she starts interrogating me, and my little spidey senses went up. I was like, something's wrong with this one. I have screenshots of this, by the way. And I don't do. Yes,
she does. I've seen them.
Yeah,
I've seen them.
I'm not a person that takes screenshots unless you're doing something. Again, pattern recognition. Something's not right here. So I was like, something's not right. So then she sends me a message basically saying that it would ruin her if her DMs got out. Okay, I just remember that because it just sat in the back of my head. She came over to Instagram. told her she's a powerhouse, this, that. This was way before. And now I've watched this progression, and a lot of my people on my page of the community were telling me, like, hey, you need to watch out for this Lindy girl. She has me on her close friends, but she also forgets that I have access to all those old chats. I have taken a screenshot of every fucking single thing that this bitch has said, that she has gone and scrubbed from her Twitter, one, and number two, that she has not let out in public.
Oh.
Yeah. And I found her pattern. And so I'm just letting y'all know what she was doing is exactly what she was doing for the Biden administration, was trying to get in front of people, was trying to, she doesn't care about money. Her parents are wealthy. She wants clout. She wants time on Fox News. She said Pete Hegseth is a good person because he's her friend. So she can block everybody that she wants. All it's going to take is for her to say the wrong thing. Right now, she's just being a grifter. You say the wrong thing, and everything that you've been saying is cataloged by me and 5 other people. If those 5 other people didn't remember that they're in that group, that's fine. I did.
What's interesting about this is that when you see how they all try to find each other, these
correct
opportunists, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they really do flock towards each other. And then they start stabbing each other in the back, and they start really, you see them drop off one by one. It's exactly what we saw during the first Trump administration. It's hilarious how it's repeating itself completely to a T. But to see this, because when I was talking to Ryan before the show, I go, isn't this supposed to be like the most liberal chick like out there that's doing like her thing? Like, and what is this? He goes, oh no, Ian, shit has changed. And I'm just changed. Shit has changed. And but this is the part where I'm at. Being on the outside. We're in the upside down world in the context that the Democratic Party would shoot themselves or cut off their nose to spite their face, right? To instead of to get in bed with you two individuals who are passionate about actually people. Ryan hates a lot of things, but he is passionate about people. He is, and he's fighting for a better day for his kids. I see it. This man doesn't think he'll be here past a certain age. And he's like, you know what? But I want my kids to have a better place in it. And that you can't make that up. You can't get in bed with just anybody for that. When I see what you guys do, the ground game that I've watched from the outskirts, because remember, I'm just getting into this with you guys. And I told Ryan, I'm ready. I'm ready to do this. He's gone. He left me. But when you look at the ground game, and I'm like, okay, you guys are really trying to make this place better for everyone, and not just red or blue state. You're trying to make it better for everyone. You're trying to make it better in Texas for all the women. You're not just like, okay, if you're a Democrat, if you're extreme left, then I want you to have these rights. You're fighting for all women. You're fighting for everyone there. When you see this kind of situation going down with Lee, you have to ask yourself, when's the gig up? Because you're only going to go so far because you're so shallow. You're not at all. And I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up next to Stephen Miller. And now just because she'll get a little bit more camera time, you know, that she starts ending up on OAN because that's the only ones that were going to take her. Matt Gaetz, you know, who she's calling this, because what is she going to have to do to kiss the ring to be in his good graces? It worked for Vance, calling him Hitler, but that's because he had Coke Boy Jr., who was advocating for him to get the role that he got. Which, has anyone seen JD Vance?
Only his weird freaking portrait.
Yeah, his White Walker portrait.
I'm just saying, I don't see him in anywhere in the news saying anything other than the Ohio game.
Well, that's why they picked him though, because he would go sit.
Yeah, he would go with it.
Yeah, he'd go away. Yeah.
He plays that position, but we all know realistically that he's going to be the one in the coat closet where Elon is going to have the vice president suite, and that's going to be how.
Oh, Elon's going to be speaking at the inauguration, by the way.
Fuck.
Cool. He doesn't even go here. That's fine.
Well,
you know what? That 12 a.m. meeting
doesn't even go here.
Sooner is all I have to say, Saadia.
And again, for those listeners, especially our listeners in other countries who may not know exactly what Saadia meant by that, Elon Musk has 3 citizenships: South Africa, Canada, and the United States. And considering he's a treasonous piece of shit, I think his citizenship in our country should be removed and he should be sent back to South Africa, because I know Canada doesn't fucking want him. And if South Africa was smart, they'd fucking disown him too and send him somewhere else. But hey, that's not my decision to make. With that said, I think it's time we wrap this one up. Let's go with our positives for the week. Brother, you first? No, you first. So she knows what the hell we're doing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So my biggest thing is my 3-year-old little man. I put on a cape before this episode. We have lightsaber fights. I was wearing all black today, and so he calls me Darth Vader, which I love. I've been living for this moment all my life. And so because of that, I play a lot of music for him to get in his diet. We changed through everything. He's had a taste of hip hop, old school, some new stuff, jazz, of course, Christmas stuff, whatever, depending on the season. Well, I said, you know what? He really likes classical right now, and why not play some Darth Vader, like the Imperial March?
Yeah.
And so he lit up when he heard this. So I say all that to say to you that I trained him to know that that's his mother's theme song. And so now he goes on the record telling me, I want to hear Mom's song, where then my wife gives me a side eye and just looks at me and goes, I hate you. And then out of nowhere, in the middle of the night, you just hear dum 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 dum. A, feels like a horror movie in my house. B, it's the cutest thing ever where he goes, I want to hear Mom's song. And then he starts humming it or, dum-dumming it. Dum, dum, dum. And then you just see her walk into a room and I go, no. We're not ready for you yet. Hold on. Let's get the lights ready. I go, now, enter.
Gosh.
So it's become a thing now that music plays. And my wife, for some reason, without really good, because she's not paying attention. She's doing 15 million things. She has a new infant here. And so she's on, by the way, she's on maternity leave. So she's like going stir crazy because all she has is a baby that she talks to all day.
And then here I come husband that has.
And here I come in with my bullshit. It's 3 boys, Saadia, 3 boys in this house and the dog. So 4. So she's surrounded by the bullshit. And I'm dying laughing because here's my little Jedi who just wants
stirring it. That's why, because he's sitting there stirring it.
Oh, I'm just stirring. I'm the youngest of the almost 14. So yeah, I know how to fuck around and find out. So my positive is my 3-year-old is officially a Jedi who knows evil when he sees it.
Your positive should be that your wife hasn't divorced you yet.
Yeah, and that you're gonna. I don't know who's gonna last longer. Is it like I know they do the cabbage and this and that, but is it Lindy Lee or you? Like,
I'm gonna put my money on Lindy Lee because yeah, for sure.
You've been telling me that your wife hates you for over a year now, and I'm starting to actually believe it.
Watching like an episode, I'm not putting this out there. I'm like, so I got divorced. I'm like, oh yeah, we saw the writing in the wall.
Yeah, don't put that out there.
No.
Oh my God.
Wife and I, we were as thick as thieves. We're having a great time. It's just hilarious because I actually did backstory. I did actually bribe a DJ at our wedding to play that song for her because I've been saying this to her that's her theme music for a long time.
Oh God.
I introduced Star Wars to her.
See, my wife would love that shit. Jen would be like, hell yeah, that's my theme song.
Oh yeah, right? I introduced Star Wars to her because she's never seen it before. And we're a huge Star Wars family, being the Shermans, our side. So it just cracks me up that my 3-year-old is now like picked up the mantle. And I never really like thought about it when I started making those jokes about it. Just like, oh yeah, that's Mom's song. And now it's just like ingrained in his head, Mom's song. And so anytime it plays on, he goes, Mommy, your song. And she just goes, motherfucker. It's so good. Anyways,
like I married this guy.
It's a lot. She did choose me. It's a lot of love in this house. That's all I got to say. Some headaches, but a lot of love. A lot of love.
Saadia, you got anything positive for the week? Anything good that happened or anything?
Good, bad, or ugly? We'll take it.
Yeah.
Anything that makes you laugh.
That I met so many people this week that are like lunatic-y like me that have made me feel so good. Like,
welcome home. Welcome home.
You've been accepted.
Yeah, like I've met 4 people this week, and I was just like, friend, like, and so we like send stuff to each other like 2 a.m. So it's been nice, like it just meeting community in like weird times, and my husband is my rock, so he just deals with all of it, and my dog is just kind of going through it with me. She's like, oh, she's coming here to hug me, so she's always available for snuggles. I saw
the one she had a video of her dog was getting up, stretching and everything. She's like, "Oh, you're gonna come over and snuggle with me?" The dog's like, "No, I'm gonna go over here."
She did come back. She did come
Giving
back.
cat-like energy. Okay,
I'm telling you, man.
So good.
Oh man, let's see. Oh, I got so my positive is that our Detroit Lions are playing tomorrow, and I said today if they end up winning the Super Bowl, I'm going home. I'm not missing that parade, and you better come with me, damn it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But
my wife already knows.
Our friend from high school, her son makes these on his 3D printer.
Oh wow!
So I ordered them I ordered one from him, and it got here, and my son took it and stole it because he's a thief. And so I ordered a second one. But he does these off his 3D printer. I think he's like 12 years old.
Wow.
So he's like started his own business, and it was funny. I was talking to my friend, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm his assistant now." And I said, "Yeah, I feel that. You're the assistant, the coach, and the ATM. That's about it."
That's right.
But yeah, our Detroit Lions are playing tomorrow. So it's a big deal for many Detroiters because if you haven't been paying attention, Detroit Lions are the only 0-16 team in the NFL, and we haven't had a deep run in the playoffs up until last year. So it's just a big deal, and we're going to have Montgomery back tomorrow. So
yeah, man,
we're going to have Sonic and Knuckles. So
there we go.
Besides that, we started coaching again this week, so we have a game at 8 a.m. tomorrow. But
nice.
my team is good. We got this kid, man. This kid, when he walked up to the team, I was like, oh, this kid he's like not interested at all. He don't want to play. And then we started playing, and I found out I have like a little fucking Ronaldo on my team. This little kid's kicking it in from halfway down, and the ball's like bending, going into the goal. I'm like,
a little Steph Curry with feet.
I'm like, I think you're going to be teaching me some things, and not the other way around. So, but yeah, so I'm interested to see how the game goes tomorrow. And, but yeah, I've really, really grown attached to this whole coaching thing. And, I get a lot of enjoyment and well, not satisfaction. I guess satisfaction would be it. I don't know. It's just nice. I like coaching the kids, but I also like the parents. I've gotten really lucky with the parents. So it's really fun. And one of my favorite things is at the end of the season, I bring the last practice, we have kids versus parents. And so like, I'm already sizing up the parents of like, oh, they're going to fuck you up at the end of the season. You might have a shot, but outside of that, so I'm just having a good time.
All those parents stretch.
Yep, definitely.
They are not in their 20s or 30s no more.
Nope. So yeah, good night, Angry Bunny. We love you. With that said, just want to remind everybody, Ian and I will be back on Monday night after the inauguration. We will not be watching the inauguration. They can all go fuck themselves, especially now that it's not even outside. Pussies.
Will there be an inauguration? Stay tuned. Come to hold the mic.
And with that said, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and follow button. We'll be back with our tin hats on Monday. So make sure you come back and join us. As always, much love. Keep fighting. Stay safe out there. And whatever you do, don't show up to fucking Washington, D.C. this weekend.
Stay with me.